Oh, okay. 2 minutes early, I think. Yeah, 2 minutes early. Doing something new this time. Let's see if we can go live on Instagram. Wait. Instagram stream key. This is new. This is new. Save changes. Okay. Save changes. Now Instagram should be like go live. View. Let's see if it's actually working. Oh my God, yes, we do have Instagram. Oh my God. Okay. Let's go live. We just added Instagram. Let's go. I got comments and comments. This is really cool. All right. Yeah, welcome to Table Moments Live. I'm your host and Captain Ayman. This is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. No politics, or at least we try our best to avoid it. And this week I have a few topics prepared. And shout out to all the Instagram homies. This is the first time for you guys. All of you on YouTube and Twitch, you guys know what this is. Every week we do this, and then I'll add the TikTok guys in a bit. I usually like to leave the first few minutes to YouTube and Twitch, and now I guess Instagram because I can stream you guys. Appreciate all you guys who just joined. This is cool. All right, so for those of you who are new, it's basically an open-ended conversation, sort of like the format of the podcast where it really can't go anywhere. And it's not like a series of questions and interview style. It's more like when you're hanging out with friends and the conversation can go anywhere. That's sort of how this stream goes. And I usually just read comments as they come in, and it's just a dialogue. It's actually really fun, and we lose track of time, and sometimes this goes well past midnight, but hopefully not tonight. This week I have topics prepared. So usually I cover the videos I've posted this week as points of discussion where we can actually elaborate and explain a little more than just the 1 minute video I posted or even talk about things that are going on in the stories that I've been sharing a lot of. Topics for this live stream is one, being late. So I posted that video today, which is funny because I was actually late for this live stream. And I think I have a legitimate reason, but I should have managed my time a little better. We'll talk about the money printing video. That one's doing stupid numbers on all the social platforms. It's weird. It's one of those rare ones that can actually perform on any of the platforms. And we could talk about that. And if you guys have any questions related to social media, especially you Instagrammies, I know you guys are more concerned with clout than the other people on the other platforms. So we can talk about that if you guys have any questions. Also, I posted a video. This was actually an old video that I reposted about super speed and the physics of it. Ignore the thumbs up. Apple does this weird thing where if you put like any of these symbols in front of the camera, it starts doing this weird stuff with the feed. So I haven't. I should. You know what? Let me write a note to turn that off. Turn off emojis. Okay. And so the science of super speed, how you can't be super fast without also being super strong. And on TikTok, the discussion went a little further where I actually did the calculation of how heavy throwing something would be. In this case, the example was a plate. In X-Men First Class, Quicksilver actually throws a plate to take out one of the guards when they're breaking out Magneto. And I do the calculations and figure out how heavy that plate would actually feel if you're moving 150 times the normal speed. And so the original calculation I did was wrong, and someone in the comments actually corrected me. It's like you didn't account for the acceleration at his speed. I didn't multiply it by 150, and when you do that, you realize it's impossible. It's impossible. But I guess it's all explained away with the speed force, but whatever. So we'll talk about that, but those are the topics I have prepared. And then if you guys have any questions, or you guys want to give feedback on anything, please feel free. I have the chat open so I can see you guys joining. No one's left a comment yet. So it's going to be interesting because like 4 platforms. We have YouTube, Twitch, which takes a while for people to get the notification and actually show up. And then Instagram's a new one. I don't know how active you guys are normally on an Instagram live feed. And then the TikTok people are always active, which is the one thing I do appreciate about that platform. And I usually have it on the phone right next to me, so you're not going to be seeing me stare at the camera. But DJ Play Nice, I wonder if it'll show up on Instagram. Thanks for hosting. Yeah, no problem, man. And thanks for being here, bro. Yeah, it's not. These comments are not going to show up on Instagram, so that sucks. But whatever. Oh no, it does. It does show up. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, we could all be one big happy family across platforms. And I have some ideas about it because like a lot of content creators get locked in to a single platform because they usually find meteoric success on one thing first, and then they never think to maybe go expand on other ones. Like Mr. Beast is a YouTube guy. I know he has millions of followers on other platforms, but I don't think he's as active as he is on YouTube, or takes it at the other platforms as seriously. And you find this for like even on small time content creators like myself. Like most people in this position, there's usually one platform they're really active on, and then the other ones are sort of like are put to the side. And when you find success, why bother working on the other ones? But I think there's something to be said about the redundancy of having an audience on multiple platforms, because you can play them against each other. It's in fact like when I get a video sort of flagged on TikTok because I said something that I didn't know you weren't supposed to say. There's certain things, then it does throttle views for like 2 weeks up to a month, and then I have nothing else to do there. Like literally, they're just throttling everything, and so, or shadow banning as they say. And so I'll focus on the other ones, and that's how the Instagram thing popped off. I just focused more on that. And you start realizing and learning the different tastes of different audiences on different platforms. Obviously, the Instagrams, you guys need pretty stuff. You guys like that high quality video, which sucks because it's just like you got to invest in the equipment and the lighting and all that. And then you guys also appreciate the script, so it has to be more prepared. So maybe you guys just have better taste, right? Or you guys appreciate effort being put into the content. More so than the TikTok people, where they actually prefer the talking head stuff, where it's just like whip out the camera and share your thoughts in like as fast as possible with the jump cuts every 3 words or something, which I mean I do for these Instagram videos, but it's only because that's how I laid out the script. But I mean TikTok, they're far more forgiving on the video quality. Your audio, regardless of platform, has to be good. So if you're gonna make content online, please make sure you get your audio right. Because people will not listen to anything unless the audio is good, or at least decent. It doesn't have to be the greatest, but if you can hear a bad echo in the room, or if it's unclear, or if there's a little bit of static, people will skip the video no matter, even if it's 4K high definition, super, no, people don't watch it. It's a weird thing about human psychology, how we can't consume content with bad audio. So yeah, it's all a learning experience, and doing these live streams it's crazy to think about, because the first time I ever live streamed was on Instagram for this Table Moments account that I'm streaming to right now, when there was only 50, I think it was less than 50 followers on Instagram. Like literally, I had no business going live, and this was when the siblings were still part of the podcast, and I tried to convince them to come on with me. And they're like, yo, let's just do the live stream. Eventually we got to learn how to do this. So why don't we just start now? That was the idea. And obviously, unfortunately, they weren't as enthusiastic about it as I was. And so they didn't end up joining. I think a couple of them, or one of them, showed up in the comment section. But yeah, I guess it's supposed to be embarrassing when no one else is watching, but it turned out there were a couple of people. I remember who they are too. And it's one of those things, the early days, you never forget. Like, yeah, it's nice having a following right now. That's cool. But like them early days, bro, like when I was there just live streaming, and that was the first time I live streamed, and then I put it on hold for a long time. It wasn't until like a year and a half later that I restarted it, specifically on TikTok. And the cool thing about TikTok is they sort of like help you with it, because if you can be interesting, they're throwing followers at you. They're throwing random viewers at you because of the feed. It's a beautiful thing. It gives everyone a chance to showcase your personality to the public. And so every time you go live is a chance for you to grow. And you know, it's something to be the underdogs, like the ones who don't have followings already without clout. That's much appreciated. It helps beginners, which is good. And so that's what I ended up doing. In the first few times, I couldn't even speak for like 15 minutes. I literally just scheduled a 15-minute live stream, and then it was just awkward. But now, you know, those of you who've been on the live streams, you guys know, like, we can just chat for like 2, 3, 4. I think the longest I've done is 5 hours, and it's always a good time. It's always a good time. So, but let me go through the rest of the topics. All right, so yeah, so we'll talk about videos, and then if you guys have anything on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever, you guys can leave it in the comment section here. I have them both open, so it's gonna be interesting. I used Instagram. Let's see, DJ Play Nice. I used Instagram Live as a way to connect my friends to events I was attending, like concerts, Vicarious. That's a good use of it, honestly. I didn't even consider that. That'd be cool. Like eventually, it'd be nice if I can have live streams whenever I'm like building stuff, because I have a lot of ideas of things. And you guys know, anyone who like follows me on Instagram, you guys see the stories, and you guys know I come up with ideas all the time. And then even you guys on the live streams, you guys know we're constantly chatting about ideas like inspire core, a new genre of music, possibly creating that. Talked about last week, which was interesting, Cookie City. I've been giving that a lot of thought, actually starting this cookie delivery brand. I already have the website and everything, so I was thinking like maybe I can focus on running ads and getting leads for that, at least in the near term, for a scheduled launch of around like fall of 2024, when the school starts back up again, at least where I am in Austin, near UT. I think that'd be interesting. So maybe I'll just throw some dollars that way, see if I can build a mailing list for that, at least in the meantime, before I pull the trigger on actually working on the project. Or like the idea for like the AI sneakers, it'd be cool if like live streaming, I can share that. So you did this with less than 100 followers? Yeah, dude. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if people think it's not worth doing unless other people are watching. I disagree with that completely. It's okay. It's okay to be streaming to nobody. You got to get the practice somehow. You think you're just going to be good? And you think people are going to remember not being there? Think about that. Like, if you post content or you go live streaming and no one's there and you have no followers, then you're just speaking into the void. That's one way to look at it. The other way is you're getting practice. You're learning how to do these things without the possible embarrassment of people watching you fail in real time. You know, it's not a failure if no one's watching. It's only a failure if you give up. Maybe that's motivation enough for you guys to start making stuff. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah. All right. Let me get the TikTok guys on. I'm already like 30 minutes late and everything, and the TikTok guys are way more active. Obviously, I could talk on and on about like some of the videos, like being late, money printing. The money printing videos, that one is literally. It's been a big week. It's been a big week. Honestly, the money printing video is the first time I've successfully put together a video and known beforehand that it was going to do well. And then, no. I've always guessed that some videos that I've posted should do well, but they don't. This is the first time where I've actually guessed correctly. And maybe it's not a guess. I'm thinking it's actually like skill. I'm actually learning how to make content that I know with confidence will do numbers. And this was one of them. Maybe the first time I've ever done it. So it's interesting. If you guys have any questions related to content, I mean, I could talk about this all day. It's like it consumes my life at this point. We can also talk about e-commerce. So you guys know, if you follow my stories, I sell these wallets, minimalist wallets. This it's the link, tamo.tv, and it's been going pretty well actually, surprisingly. And the few people I've gotten a chance to talk with about it really enjoy it, so that's good. And still continuing to make updates, and I think eventually it'd be cool if like I can actually make, let's zoom in, come on. Yeah, so this is like a impressionist version of the Red Bull logo, and so I watched Formula One and everything like that, and So it's pretty cool that I can make custom logos. So I think it'd be cool. This one's a Ferrari edition that I made for my brother. Uh, 44, Hamilton. He's moving next year, so he's a big Lewis Hamilton fan. So this wallet's going to my brother. Um, and so it'd be cool if like I can actually build that into the site where I can actually make custom wallets for you guys. You can customize the details, sort of like Nike ID. Oh man, that'd be really cool. I've seen Instagram creators using a live as a way to draw people in. If you search for current lives, you can connect with people just browsing for something interesting. Same phenomenon on YouTube. Do people do that? I'm not sure. I don't know if I've ever jumped into a live stream just randomly, but interesting. I didn't know people did that. There is a bit of a delay with the Instagram thing, so keep in mind if anyone leaves a comment on Instagram, I'm not going to see it until much later. Yes, that? Yeah. So let's bring on the TikTok people. They're always interesting. They're always an interesting group of people. And we're going live in 3, 2, 1. Hey. It'd be cool, like eventually I could get a stream key for this, and then I could actually stream on and just use one camera. I hate that I have to, YouTube just recently launched their vertical streaming service, so that might be interesting to do. Because I don't think this works well on Instagram going horizontal, and then it's just like this tiny little square on your phones. That doesn't work. Yeah, so we'll see. This is all experimentation, and this is what I like about this. Like it's easy to just go. Things get boring if you just do things you're familiar with. And I like the challenge. I like doing hard things. And so like managing now 3 different comment sections is going to be even more challenging. DJ, Play Nice, you know I suck with keeping up with comments, especially when they're like in 2 locations. So this is going to be really interesting. Hey everyone, Nads, how's it going? Marsha, what's up? How's it going? How's everyone doing tonight? Got to keep it fresh. Yeah. I was thinking today, maybe I should like adopt like the format that Kevin Samuels did, where he would open with like music. Dude, if you want me to plug any of your music, please. Or if you make anything, I'm definitely going to check your YouTube channel out and see if you want me to. That'd be cool. This could be a really cool way to like promote artists and musicians. I just have to worry about like the content ID system on these social platforms where they'll actually flag the live stream because it's using copyright content. I haven't figured that out, which is why I haven't been playing any music. And I know a lot of people get away with it, but I like doing things the right way. And I was actually thinking about this. Like, for those of you, there's this organization called Y Combinator. They basically seed fund a bunch of startups, right? And they have like a whole application thing twice a year. And one of their questions is for their founders. They're looking for people who are exceptional, people who are willing to push and find interesting ways to succeed. As you can imagine, this might be useful for someone who's starting a startup. And so one of the questions they ask on their application is, paraphrasing, has there ever been a time where you hacked something, and what was it and how did you do it? Essentially looking for people who aren't going to be bounded by rules, okay? And I was thinking about this question, and I was just like, I think the question's incomplete. I think it's incomplete. I think if you frame it that way, you attract people who will bend, maybe even break rules, which sounds like a good thing in the context of a startup, but think about like when it comes to reporting metrics or business and the kind of things you can bend, or at least the rules that you might bend or break in regards to things that should be taken seriously, And I was thinking, I'm like, I think and then think about the type of person it attracts who is looking to break rules, at least in the business space. Which, I mean, yeah, a lot of rules are made up, but then there are some for moral reasons that a lot of us just don't exercise for good reason. But you sort of attract a certain type of personality with that question. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I might have to. I think it needs revision. Kappa says on Instagram, "Yo, little boy, stop ignoring me before I oil that up and put on rubber gloves on and slide it in." Dude, why? It's always dudes who get sexual. I don't understand. I don't understand. Women have been nothing but polite on these social platforms. Yeah, they slide in. Hey, how's it going? I love your stuff. Oh, you're great. Want to connect? Whatever. It's like cool. It's polite. Women are polite on social platforms. Men, I don't get it. And I'm pretty sure you're a straight dude. Whatever. That's a wise choice. The entertainment begins and the viewers settle into the overture. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hey, Lola Divine, what about when the metrics are screwed? Yeah. Here's the thing, like, it's no surprise, like, you find startups or even social platforms or any internet-based company, they start bending the rules or they'll lie, they'll manipulate because their business depends on it. And you start seeing it, like, this has happened a few times in the startup world, and it's funny hearing VCs talk about how, like, these people have to be honest, even though they literally select for people who like breaking rules. And it's just, it's funny to see. Definitely prefer the TikTok platform over Instagram. Yeah. I know Instagram, the video is weird. Man, someone that just needs to make one thing that works on all the because there's no reason why Instagram can't just crop it, on both sides and just chop it off. That would be really cool. Or like zoom in. Is that a way you could do? Or if you can zoom in, I don't know. Tobias, I like your hair. Thanks. I think you mean the beard. It's so shiny. It is really shiny. I know. It's a lot going on. I don't know. It's always weird because now I'm dealing with like 3 different comment sections. Kalmbradov loves you. I don't know what that is. I think that's also a joke. But this whole clout thing's been interesting, and how to handle some of the attention. I don't know. I don't think it bothers me at all. I think I handle it well because it's not something I even seek. It's weird because like when you see the content or at least some of my videos, you might not realize like I actually don't socialize with people like that. I don't. People think I'm like this well-spoken, social, like butterfly, and I can speak well and all that stuff. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? When I'm at a party, I keep to myself. Like I don't need to know you guys. I got my girl, I got my friends. I'm good. I am good. Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Are you guys like that? Introverts out here? You don't really care to meet new people. I understand it's useful, or at least in the context of like social media and stuff. Like I like connecting with people, other creators out here, or people who have interesting takes. Gonna have a interview with this guy who I think has really interesting takes on creativity, and so that's gonna be cool. But as far as socializing, like I'm not really a socializer kind of guy. Like, and maybe this platform, just doing it as a live stream kind of makes it easier because it's almost like I'm speaking to myself, I'm speaking to myself. I'm only putting these on because the lights are bright and it's late at night, but yeah. You don't believe me? Come on. Come on. I don't care for the attention, honestly. Like, if I got a sign from God to drop all this tomorrow, I would. I just understand how useful having an audience is. Hopefully one day this is big enough that I can help put people on. That'd be really cool. Instead of like, cause I don't know. It's like I see other content creators out here, and it's just like, they're just grifting, bro. They're just grifting. It's like they'll say whatever to get some views. For me, I think it's important that I say something that is useful. That is, but most importantly, true. It has to be true, or at least true as I know it. If it's not, then I don't see the point in. I don't know. It's just like for the views only. Nah, I'm not about that. Nah, I'm not about that. You don't believe me? I definitely believe you. Oh, thanks. I'm glad I come off as a sincere person. I love your beard. Thank you. Uh, I, yeah, I don't put anything in it. If you guys are wondering, like literally, it's just some soap every now and then. Which I think we've talked about this on the live stream. Hair care. Here's the thing, fellas. If you want some advice on how to take care of your hair, go to women. Women know all the products. Recently, my girl just was doing her hair, took her braids out, and man, it's a lot of work. Oh man, literally spending hours upon hours getting the hair to just like settle and look right and all that stuff. And I don't envy you women at all. Those of you who keep a long hair, it's tough. I don't know if guys, even guys with hair, ever have to deal with like some of the stuff that women have to deal with. Um, Even when I had hair, I never took care of it, which is why every time it would grow, it would get all knotted, and then I would shave it completely. So being bald is actually a good thing for me. Do you have Riz? I have okay, Riz. I have Riz for the lane of women that I tend to do really well with. My lane is nerdy black girls. That's my lane. Um, yeah, bookish. I think is the better way to say it. Bookish black girls. Smart black girls is what I feel like it's a little pandery just saying it like that. I'm just gonna say nerdy. We can't give them too many compliments, fellas. Otherwise, their heads blow up. That's why I throw it in a bun every day. Yeah. Well, you look great, King. Thank you, Bree. Appreciate it. Yeah. Why are you doing this? Yeah. No, you gotta be careful. You can't. You can give women compliments, except you just gotta like. Man, my girl hates it when I do this. But I give her a compliment, but then like, and then I give her a compliment like the jab, and then I huck her with like a little like check, you know, weirdly enough. I haven't been doing that much lately, but I definitely used to do that a lot. Kevin Durant? No, I am not. How do you get Kevin Durant from this? I don't think so. Kevin Durant is definitely a more slender dude. Have you guys noticed NBA players? You know, it's funny because the NBA jersey makes their build look really like yoked and big and broad. In reality, they're skinny dudes. They're really skinny dudes, which is why it's just like, man, it's funny. People think Steph Curry's yoked. He's like 190, same height as me. I'm literally like 50 pounds heavier than the dude. Oh, my bad. You're LeBron, right? Yes, there you go. I'm LeBron, which is funny. This little girl, like years ago, came up to me. Was like, "You look like LeBron." I was just like, "It's the weirdest compliment I've ever received, if that's a compliment." But I don't think being called a look-alike to a celebrity is a compliment. You know, like I get it. I don't know. It's like no, I look like me. LeBron looks like me. Okay. Even if he does have a billion followers, who cares? Like the guy, no, I don't feel like railing on the NBA right now. We all know it's rigged though, right? The NBA is rigged. You can't lift more than Curry. Yeah, I can. I can lift Curry and lift more than him. Of course I can. Why the shades indoors? Really bright lights. Really bright lights. And I gotta go to bed later, so I got 2 lights here. I love your hair. Thanks, Sigma. The most rigged sport is bodybuilding, to be honest. What do you mean by rigged? It definitely, yeah, they're all juicing for sure. Or is it because of the way they judge it? It's all subjective and stuff. It's like, oh, he's more defined than this guy, or this year we're looking for more muscularity or vascularity in this year's comp. I don't know, dude. I've never been to one of those things, but if it's anything like that, then I can totally understand how rigged it is. But there are sports that do have judges, but are actually very rigorous in their scoring. Like gymnastics is an interesting one. It's like this whole scoring system based on your routine, and they basically you submit your routine ahead of time, and then they judge for the form and how well you were able to keep to it and mistakes that you make. And it's a very precise sport apparently, which I didn't know. I thought it was all just judging. They play favoritism. I can see that. I can see that. Demetrius Johnson. Is that what's his name? Gideon reference? Don't tell me it's a Gideon reference. uh, no. But I don't know. The NBA. Here's the thing. I didn't even know the NBA All Star game was last week, or the All Star weekend was last week. I had no clue. And then I watched the highlights of it on YouTube, and I was bored. I was like, wow. I didn't even bother watching the dunk contest. I watched the 3-point. The skills challenge was weird. The LED court. If you got to throw in lights to make it more interesting, like LEDs and technology, and turn it into a video game, then man, I think they've lost their way. The sport itself is supposed to be the entertainment, not the gimmicks. The gimmicks, guys. You know the NBA is on the. I don't know. The market's probably the biggest it's ever been. Probably most people watching than there ever has. But we can all agree it's become more boring. I think this is the nature of anything that becomes too popular. It has to become boring because that's the only way it could ever have broad appeal. And so it's like the curse of success. If you want that success, that sort of like broad audience that appeals to everybody, you basically become like milk toast and bland. And that's essentially what happens to anything that becomes too successful. This is happening in Formula One right now. I could already feel it. Like I'm literally just finishing up season 6 of Drive to Survive. And it is interesting when you watch the sport and then you watch the show and you realize that's not really the drama that was happening. But even now, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's that interesting because it's just like it's become too popular. What do you look for in a man? Myself. Should I go a mustache? I'm not sure what that means. Should I grow a mustache? I mean, sure, why not? Up to you if you like the look. It is easier to grow the beard than to have to shave it off, I think. So I don't find sports entertaining in general. I don't know why. Yeah, I could see it. Sports generally are boring. The thing I do like about Formula One is the engineering part. I'm an engineer by training, and I also got a chance to play the video game for a bit, and how shaving tenths of a second, how intense that could be. So let's see, Lana Del Rey's third nipple. Hi, Daddy. Hope you're having a good night. I am having a good night. That one video you posted, it was a 3. That's the thing. Like, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. So what he's referring to is a video I posted demonstrating how I wasn't saying it was a 2 or a 3. I was demonstrating how it could possibly have been ruled a 2, or yeah, a 2. I had just listened to this podcast series by Michael Lewis, where he actually talks about refereeing and how the people who are in charge of enforcing rules aren't taken seriously anymore. And there was this one episode where he actually went over the NBA referees and the job and the responsibilities they have and all the technology that goes into actually verifying all this stuff, that calls were made correctly. And so apparently the replay center is in Secaucus, New Jersey, where they have high-speed feeds to every NBA game that's happening at any given time. And they have these people watching these screens ready to support the refs if you ever see that signal. I think the refs do some hand signal that's a signal to the replay center to go review that footage. And so that's how they're able to pull up the video so quickly, because they literally have an entire building dedicated to this stuff anytime an NBA game happens. So this is why I was trying to explain, like, maybe from a different angle, optics, they could have ruled it a 2 because of that. And how you can look over the line, whatever. And people who watch hockey know this to be true as well. The puck can look like it's crossed the line or over the line or hasn't crossed the line depending on the angle. And so that's what I was explaining. And then I also wanted to see if I could post a video without saying a word. And successfully, yeah, I think it's sitting at 16 million views right now. I wasn't trying to justify it. I was just making a point about how it could look. But it does turn out the NBA is really they spent millions of dollars to make the game more fair, and they literally employ tons of people to make it fair. And it's crazy because the fans actually think it's less fair than they used to before all this replay center stuff. And it starts, and then it turns out in the rest of that podcast episode, they were explaining how there was a lot of bias that referees used to have in games. They would always give superstar calls, you know? If you're LeBron, if you're Kobe, if you're MJ, like, yeah, you often, because of a ref's bias, would have calls go in there in your favor because you're a superstar. And most people, the fans, especially if it's a home game, are agreeing. They're like, yeah, that's the right call, even though it is a biased call, and in fact, usually could be the wrong call. And so what's actually happened is that with the technology, refs have actually become more fair. The superstar calls don't happen as much. And that's what people are seeing as unfair. It's crazy. You know, like how it's one of those human perception things where, like, I think there was some tech company who released a music player where, maybe it was Apple, released a music player that truly shuffled your songs randomly, or at least as close to random as you can possibly get. And if you understand the mathematics of randomness, there is a likelihood, there is a chance that the same song gets repeated twice. And when people would experience that, they would feel the shuffle didn't actually work, even though it's literally shuffling it as random as possible. Of course, randomness means that there is a chance the same song gets played twice, but of course, to people, it doesn't feel random unless it's a different song every time. And so by the developers actually had to make it less random to make it feel more random. And it's just, human psychology is really, really weird. But yeah, that's what's going on. I've been watching a lot of Rory Sutherland videos on YouTube and podcasts, listening to podcasts and watch it. I follow him on, I don't know if it's him or just an account that just posts his content, but whatever. It's good clips. And he's explaining like the psychology of people and how it might be easier to just work magic in the mind instead of in a product or service that you're selling. Like, we all think you have to deliver faster, you have to deliver better, but instead, what if you could just convince people through perception that it is? And so that's where the inspiration for my the video I posted today about, about being late. I posted a video about, like, we don't mind late people being late. We mind that we don't know how late they'll be. The uncertainty in their arrival keeps us from being able to use that time to do other things. So if someone says, I'm going to be somewhere at 7 p.m., they haven't texted you that they're going to be late, and you show up on time, and they're not texting you that when they'll arrive, then you're just sitting there unsure of what to do. And so, like, you're wasting your time because you don't know if they're going to show up 1 minute from now or 20 minutes from now. And so you're in this predicament where you really can't do anything. And that's the frustration. That's where it comes from. And this is also true for, like, how taxis used to work. You know, when you would call the taxi service, I need a ride to the airport at 7 a.m. You didn't know if they were going to show up on time or if they were going to show up early or if they were going to show up late. And you were just going to, but you had to be ready at that time. And so the uncertainty of all that is the thing that led to a lot of the frustration when it comes to waiting for things. And so if you can tell people, hey, I'm going to be here at a certain time, or tell them that it's going to take me this long, I'm actually running late, I'll be there. ETA, GPS says 14 minutes. It's like, okay, now I know. It relieves the anticipation part. So that's where the video came from, or at least that's how that video was inspired. Adrian Kemp, I don't know who that is, but cool, I guess. And so it's interesting. I've been thinking about this a lot because I started selling these wallets, these thin minimalist wallets. I know it doesn't look like much, but this is my daily right here. It's thin, it has 14 bills, 6 cards, and it's all in a tight package. I've been selling these and I've been thinking about like the marketing of it all. Like originally I positioned this as a front pocket wallet, but I realized maybe it's too niche of an idea because most people keep it in their back pocket. And then based on some feedback from people, they were telling me, it's very thin. I forget that it's in my pocket. And I was like, ooh, that's a feature, that's not a negative. And so I was like, now I've labeled it on my website, the forgotten in your pocket wallet. And I'm sorry, you're gonna have to check your bum a few times a day because you're gonna forget that it's still there. And so this is like flipping perception, taking something that you might perceive as a negative, but actually flipping it as a positive because it really does feel like it's not there. It really does. I forget I have it in my pocket. I like to keep it in my side pocket usually. Sometimes I'll put it in my front pocket. I rarely keep it in my back pocket, and it's a lot easier to access, especially when I'm in the car and I need to pull my wallet out. If I was built like Mike Mentzer, my life would be so much better, I think. Who's Mike Mentzer? I don't know. Is that a white guy? Do you feel like there's this weird separation between black people and white people and the people we know, or at least the figures in them? Because literally, I posted also a video about who's that Nigerian singer who Nigerian singer drama. What's his name? Omale. Yeah, Omale. I literally just saw that on TikTok today and I made a video about it. And I was just like, what? So, oh, you're Pakistani? Okay. Yeah. Not to be confused with, no, there is no confusion. Yeah, Pakistani. All right. But there's this like a Nigerian musician, R&B singer, I don't know, Omale. And essentially what had happened, he usually brings like a woman on stage and does some sexual stuff with her. But it turns out the woman he had picked for this particular night had a boyfriend. And her boyfriend had actually brought her to that concert. And it got like really nasty and weird, whatever. And I made this video about it, explaining like I've actually met someone like that. It's weird what happens to women when they're in the presence of some clout, guys, or at least some women, not all women. Most women, I would say a majority of women are not going to be like that girl at that Omale concert. Okay, they're not. But there is a segment of women out here who, they get starstruck and you don't know what's going to happen, bro. Well, I guess you can guess what's going to happen. I actually met a woman like that once on a first date. And it kind of blew my mind because she was telling me this story of how her boyfriend, I don't know if she was like, what do you call it? Name dropping? Like, oh, I got this close to someone at one point, whatever. It was an R&B singer and she had gone to this concert and her boyfriend had taken her there and then she grabbed the singer. He was at the edge of the stage and she like grabbed at him. And somehow, I think her boyfriend was the one who recorded the video. This is crazy. And I'm like, does this girl realize how she sounds to me? Who do you think who do you think is gonna have the strongest all season NFL? I don't watch football, man. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl. God. People always ask me if I've played football before because of my size. No, I don't even watch the Super Bowl. Like, it wasn't until the day after that I realized, wait, which team won? I thought San Francisco had won Sunday night because I wasn't following it. I was just like working or whatever, and my girl's from St. Louis, and we were having a conversation, but it never even occurred to me because she was telling me, oh yeah, I got really into it and all that. And I was like, okay. Which is weird because she wasn't even interested in the first place until like the fourth quarter. And for whatever reason, I thought SF had won. And then it wasn't until the next day I'm looking at the highlights, seeing if there's anything interesting or relevant for me to catch up on. And it turns out, St. Louis won, or Kansas City won. Was it Kansas City? I don't even know. I don't watch football. It's too slow of a sport for me, man. Who? NFL. Yeah, sorry, man. Get off my phone. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. Seattle Seahawks. Eesh. How do you feel about is what's his name? Russell Wilson still the quarterback? We gonna win the Super Bowl next year. Mike McDonald. Yeah, I bet you have strong opinions about Marshawn. They should have given him the ball, shouldn't they? I know people still are bitter about that, but I don't know. I mean, if you had an extra down, why wouldn't you take the risk? You know? I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, NFL. I don't know. Like, it's weird. I don't watch. I feel like the NFL is the slowest sport. It's just, it drags on and then they stop all the time. Like, I like faster paced sports. I mean, the one sport I watch now is Formula One, and even then, I'm thinking about not watching it this year. I'm thinking I might switch to IndyCar because I think it's a more like grittier sport where the cars are tougher, and so it's not like they're gonna crash and then, or they're gonna bump each other and then be out of the race. It's just it is disappointing to see these cars break so easily. I get it; they're pushing the engineering and making it as thin as possible. Some of these panels, but like, come on, like make the cars a little tougher. And that's the one thing I can appreciate about IndyCar. And IndyCar is actually like more driver focused, anyways, which is funny because like the drivers' championship in Formula One is the one that's taken more seriously. I'm sure the constructors care about the constructor championship, but the drivers' championship is the one that's taken the most seriously. But everybody knows you need a fast car, and we all know the cars aren't fair. So it's just like it has. Yes, the driver can influence, let a team score higher than they normally would, but uh, at the same time, it's like, where's the merit of it all? You know, it's a shame. It's a shame. So I think this might be my last year if I ever do watch sports again. Formula One might be it. All right. Do you guys on Instagram? Let's see. Does that say 44 on the front of the wallet? Yeah. Sorry, Turtle. I just saw your comment. I wish Instagram Live didn't just show every time someone, because it's like people just joining and then whatever. It does say 44. Not 444, just two fours. 44. Lewis Hamilton's number. Yeah, for those of you on TikTok. Yeah, Hamilton's number. It's I made that for my brother. He's a big Lewis Hamilton fan and Formula One fan. Those glasses are dope. Yeah, these glasses are dope. I made them myself. And was it you? Someone said I should figure out a way to like market these, but maybe I'll make a kit, or maybe if I can partner with someone at Zenny Optical who supplied these glasses, and maybe we can put together a kit that could be useful for you guys, and then you guys could do this too. Weirdly enough, I actually looked into this. I was like, here's the thing about Rory Sutherland. He talks about instead of figuring out how to invent something new, or instead of solving problems by inventing something new, what if you invent something new and figure out a way to make it solve a problem? And so this is what I've put together, right? I have these glasses with the shades, and it's cool because I can actually keep this in my pocket. They stack, and I can put this in my pocket. Before, there was a bridge here that came together and they had to stay as one piece. And I was like, that's not very portable. So I got rid of that and then put these magnets on here. But then I was thinking like, all right, what else could this be used for outside of just sunglasses? Because I don't imagine a lot of people out here buying lenses or glass frames who don't actually have optical issues, which is the much bigger audience out here. But I was looking into occlusion therapy, I think it's called, where basically like for people who have a lazy eye, or at least as kids, one of the things they do is block the dominant eye and then let the lazy eye actually get practice at seeing things and focusing on things to rewire the brain to be able to control the eye again. And so basically it's like Is there an equivalent where you, I don't know if there's an equivalent, but basically you just block the dominant eye so that the lazy eye can actually exercise, basically get stronger and build that eye to brain connection that's missing. And so I was thinking, like, what if glasses could be a way to do it? If instead, if it were these sunglass frames, what if it was completely blacked out? And then that could be a way for a kid. Usually, this is something that's recommended by optometrists young, when patients are young, because that's when it tends to work the best. I was thinking, all right, well, if they have eye issues, they're already wearing glasses, maybe this could be an interesting way to have that therapy long term, instead of like putting a patch or wearing an eye patch or something for like a couple hours a day, which is the typical prescription. Instead, what if they wore glasses like this, except one of them's completely blacked out? They would be walking around like this essentially, but if you guys know the movie The Kingsman, there's a guy who has glasses like this, or at least one side's blacked out. And so I was thinking maybe this could be a way to like treat this like lazy eye issue that some kids have to deal with. And they would just be walking around like this. It's kind of a cool look with one eye and just out here and the other one not. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's pretty cool. So, yeah. What do you guys think though? I think it's an interesting idea. Like medical uses. You are truly inventive. I appreciate it. Yeah, I come up with ideas all the time. The problem is, I can't work on all of them, and so I have to choose. I have to choose which ones to work on. Which, I mean, it is what it is. The funny thing is, it's like not only do I like making stuff here, I also like building software when I feel motivated to do so. And I actually have a whole like social account dedicated to that kind of stuff, which weirdly has a decent audience actually. A decent audience. I haven't posted it on there for like 2 3 months. 2 months I think. I just went all in on table mounts, but it's interesting. It's like I have too many ideas. Are you guys in this situation where it's just like so many things you could work on, but you don't know what to focus on, or is this like your attention is split so you can't give any one of them the attention it deserves? You know, it's weird. I've been reading this book by John Cleese on creativity. Let's see if I can show it to you guys here. A short and cheerful guide, essentially explaining all these things about creativity and some of the issues, or how to. His belief is there's a myth that creativity is something you have to be born with. This isn't the case. Anyone can be creative, and so essentially he makes the case like creativity is not something you can force. Like people who like to push pencils and stuff don't understand, like creativity is sort of like an inspiration type of thing. You can't force it. So like even with these videos that I've been posting on social media, like it'll be, I'll post, you'll see how infrequently I post. Some days where I'm posting hella stories and I'm posting a video a day, sometimes multiple times a day, and I'm on it, all right? And then there are days when I am not motivated to do anything at all, and so I'll just take an old video, recut it up, improve the color grading on it a little bit, and just repost it, and just as a way to stay active. But really, my heart's not there yet. So it's just like it's this one thing that you just gotta like manage. I missed it. What's the name of the book? It's actually, I could put it in the chat here for you. John Creativity by John Cleese. Hopefully it comes through. Creativity by John Cleese. Yeah, a short and cheerful guide. It's a very, very short book. You could read it in probably like 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. It's 103 pages. I think one of the notes here, just to give you a little bit of taste here, is where he talks about like fostering creativity, that the longer you sit there, the more your mind slows and calms and settles. You create boundaries of space to stop others interrupting you. When you're being creative, there's no such thing as a mistake. These ideas where like the greatest, here's a really good point, the greatest killer of creativity is interruption. And Creative people are much better at tolerating the vague sense of worry that we all get when we leave something unresolved. And so you realize, like, even he makes the point, I think, in this book about procrastination. Like, procrastination happens in creative people because the creative mind understands that a better idea could come along. So it is in your best interest as a creative to wait till the last possible moment, because inspiration can come out of nowhere and beat any idea that you deliberately try to sit down and create or try to have. And so, like, procrastination has a role to play. It has a role to play. It's interesting. And people who are like type A personality, go get stuff done, work really hard, whatever, they don't understand this, that, inspiration can come out of nowhere. And even just working on a problem, then walking away from it for a period of time still has that problem, or that sort of like problem space still in your mind percolating. And then it'll come out of nowhere. And this happens to me all the time, especially like when I'm making improvements to these wallets, like it comes out of nowhere. I'm like, oh man, how do I solve this problem? Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then I'll think like, yo, I could change the lasers design so it can create this fold here. Or I'll notice or think about a way to improve this, like using magnets and stuff. So that's a future idea. Once I can get, so right now I'm trying to figure out like how to get magnets to work in this. So it stays closed, and then you could put it on your refrigerator, which I've experimented with, but I'm still like trying to figure out how do I fix this and make sure it stays on. I don't know yet, but I know that because this idea I've thought about a lot, the idea will come to me one day, and that's how it goes. Essentially explaining like a lot of this problem solving when it comes to the creative space is unconscious. And it's hard to explain to people who aren't creative. Because essentially, like in the business world, creative people end up having to justify their work to non-creative people. And non-creative people don't understand how creative work happens, how small little details make all the difference. And I'm saying this as someone who didn't take art and creativity that seriously, at least earlier on in life. I'm an engineer by training, hyper rational. And it wasn't until I started doing social media and content and videos, realizing how the small little details make all the difference. For instance, like I've posted old videos on these accounts, and they do much better the second time because I make these small little tiny tweaks, maybe chopping off the last bit of the video because it had already concluded, or taking the first couple words out of the beginning because they were unnecessary, or even just chopping up the middle of it to take certain sections that didn't need to be there. Even small things like the audio and making sure it doesn't peak too much. Like all those things matter. What's wrong with the glass? Nothing wrong. I'm just demonstrating how they're held on with magnets, and I didn't put it back on. Yeah, cool glasses. I know what you're gonna say. They're really cool. Here's the thing: if you want to make these yourself, I bought these frames from Zenny Optical. When you're in the checkout, after you check out obviously you have to have your prescriptions and everything. You enter those in, you order your frames, you order the type of lens, so like polycarbonate, basic, anti-reflective, you put the coatings and all that. And then at the end of it, at the checkout, they'll ask you if you want to add these polarizers. Basically, they come with a connection, a metal piece that connects here, and you can add these. So that's what I got. But that I didn't like the bridge that it had, so I took those off and put magnets. Now the cool thing about this is, how did I get the magnets to stick? This is clear nail polish. If you got a girl who does her nail a lot, go to her dresser or whatever, you can grab her clear coat and it'll hold your magnets in place. I thought that was a brilliant discovery when I discovered that. Originally, I was going to use like rubber cement or something, but it wasn't sticking like the way I like. And this is a chrome coating on these magnets, and chrome has a hard time. It's hard to stick to, but man, clear coat works. And I didn't apply this that well. I think for the next version, I'm going to do it much better. And then maybe if I can turn it into a kit, I'll offer it to you guys so you guys can have like a small bottle of clear coat. And then I think I can make stencils, so you could be able to put a sticker on here with a little hole in it and then dab some nail polish, put the magnets on, and then when it dries, peel it off, and it'll be clean. I want it clean, so that would be cool. And I ordered some more of these different versions, like a yellow version, a mirror version, and all that. And I'm gonna be making those, and I'll probably make a video about it on how to do it. So you guys can do it too. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, so, yeah, they are pretty cool. I don't know, I just make stuff all the time. I don't know. I think there are plenty of guys out here. This is big in the female space for sure. A lot of women are more, I've noticed, there's a reason why a lot of craft stores are marketed towards women, because women are crafters. A lot more women are crafters than men, but I think men need to, I don't know if they need to, but I'm definitely in that space where I like to create stuff. I like to create useful things. So I make stuff like this. And then I also like dabble in software too, because like there's all these things that should exist that don't, and no one's building it. And so I end up having to build it, which, I mean, it is what it is, but I don't know if I can complain about it. It's just like the gift I've been given to want things and the persistence to go figure out how to make it. Software wise, yeah, there's so many things that should exist. Like even right now, I'm streaming on my phone here. That's you guys on TikTok. I got the camera here that's feeding to StreamYard, which is streaming to YouTube and Twitch. And then I have Instagram I have to pull up separately because their chat isn't integrated into StreamYard. Like, what? Like, what? Why can't it all be in one thing? I can't just stream directly to TikTok right now because I don't have a stream key, and the streaming software that they do provide is only supported on Windows, and I have a Mac. And so it's just like, why are things, I don't know. Everyone thinks like, you know, we live in such good times, and yeah, we do. Technology is amazing. Yeah, I agree. But there's a lot to be desired, man. Things don't need to be this complicated. And so like I'm literally looking at 3 chats right now. You guys on TikTok, then StreamYard, and then Instagram. I have to have it pulled up separately. It's crazy. I don't know. There's so many things. Like, man, I have so many ideas, man. So many ideas. And that's the thing. At this point, I know I can't work on them all. So I'm just giving them away. So I swear I'm giving such free game out here. If you are willing to work at some of these ideas and you feel passionate enough, please take them. Get the bag off of it, please. If you want to throw a kickback my way, I'd appreciate it, but not required, please. These ideas just need to exist in the world. Melting ice cream, where the $2 bills at? Right here. They're right here. $2 bills. You guys are wondering? Yeah, $2 bills. Originally I thought I was gonna have to cut this up to actually fulfill, because like when I sell these wallets on my website, I actually include a $2 bill with it. I thought I was gonna have to cut these up, but it turns out I found a source locally to me that has all these like $2 bills. And I actually have them here. I fulfilled 5 orders today, but I literally put them in, put a $2 bill in with the wallet when I send it, like that. So it's the only wallet on the market that comes pre-installed with money. I just think it's a funny idea, so that's why I do it. Exactly. Hey Joey, how's it going? But yeah, I want to do interesting stuff like that. You know, like businesses aren't that interesting these days. They're all just like corporate and boring and safe. I'm like, what if we can do interesting stuff, you know? What if businesses could be fun? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Like, yeah, we build stuff, we create stuff, we sell stuff, we make money, and we do it in interesting ways. And maybe we even give a lot of it away because we don't really need it, because we're a small team. Right now, the team is just me. It might stay me. It'd be cool to like involve some of you guys and let you guys eat off of this too. My idea for this originally was just like, hey, audience is useful to have regardless of whether or not you know what to do with it. But I'm realizing this could be a jumping off point for a lot of people, which is why like now every episode of the podcast, which by the way, this is a podcast page. That's the whole point. This exists. It started off as a podcast and it's still a podcast. I interview people, or at least have conversations with people. and we talk about anything and everything. Like last the last episode, we talked about brand. A friend of mine actually came on. We talked about how he started his clothing brand and all the things he had to deal with, and how one could start a brand, and the experience of doing e-commerce and learning how to make your own clothes, which he ended up learning the whole cut and sew process. And he talks about it, and it's like useful information for anybody. The week before that, we had a rapper where we talk about how he was able to build an audience, get nearly 1 million Spotify streams without ever going viral like that, and his strategy on how to build an audience for music. And that was really useful for a lot of people, I think. And that actually did pretty well on YouTube. So I think it'd be cool if we can do interesting stuff like that. Give you guys some useful game, maybe some answers to life, or at least some of the problems that you guys are running into. And then also work on interesting projects that's it, interesting projects. So like I've posted a video about these glasses, how I made them. I posted a video about how I make wallets. The original idea was actually a clear wallet, which actually weirdly enough people bought. I might have to bring that back eventually, and then all the other ideas that I have, which, man, we talk about on these live streams. It's like these live streams have become like a brainstorming session with you guys talking about ideas and seeing what works, what doesn't, and like going back and forth and developing the ideas. And then eventually, like, if I can fit the bandwidth, actually build them. And I like this path. I like that maybe the way I make a living full time as a creator is by building interesting things that are actually useful in the world. You know, you have a lot of YouTubers who are like hackers, and they build stuff, but they always build stupid things for the views. Because it makes for a better thumbnail, it makes for a better video, like getting a robotic dog to pee beer. It's just like cool, but you know, like why? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just a waste of like effort and talent. So, bro, seriously, 1 view? I'm not sure what you mean. Like, I'm streaming on multiple platforms right now. It's always been small. Like I prefer small, if that's what you mean. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to do interesting stuff, and so that's the direction I think I'm gonna take the YouTube channel. Just like interesting conversations with interesting people. Not necessarily they have to have clout. In fact, none of the interviews I've done have been with. There's only one interview I've ever done, or one podcast episode where we had a guest where they actually already had clout. One. And at this point, I think I have more clout than them, which honestly doesn't matter in the end. But it's just, I think regular people without clout can be interesting too. You know? I think they can. So that's what I'll be doing. So those are the type of conversations, and yeah, and we'll see how it goes, and then building cool stuff. You seriously scrolling on pages hating? Damn, you talking to your three viewers. These are people. They're not views. I think maybe you're confused about what a video is versus a live stream. Well, I got 2 people on like YouTube and Twitch, and another 2 on Instagram, so it's actually 7 people. Thank you very much. I don't care. It's just better than 0. Even if it were 0, you wouldn't be here. That's the thing. Like, dude, Joe, don't even bother. Like, here's the funny thing. Guys like Eric, man, I think we would get along in another life, which eventually, like, honestly, I have a reputation for like turning haters into friends. But it's still not 10. Yeah, it's okay. You think I do this? Wow. It's funny. Cause like I remember when I was live streaming and there was literally 0 people. Like, and I still did it. And that's a lesson to, I don't know. I think it's a useful mindset to have, that regardless of if people are watching, you'll still do it. Like, I know, here's a funny thing, Eric. A lot of people buy bots to get that number up. I see it because they don't have, and you can tell this when people are streaming, if you want to know, if they bought bots, is because their numbers are probably high, but they're not getting the engagement. Like, that's fine. The first live I go on, bro, has single view when I join. I mean, it's okay. I've joined people with very, like, this is not for everybody. And I think that's fine. I actually prefer it staying small, at least for now, because I really suck at keeping up with comments, especially here and then watching on YouTube. And then Instagram right now is the first time I've actually had this going on for the first time. Can you imagine just rolling and being negative? Damn, feel bad for dude. I don't know. That's the thing, like, it's easy to just, like, old me would have clapped back, and I don't know. I've thought about this a lot. Like, I have lost my edge because I did have a spiritual experience, and so I am living life differently, and so I do have sympathy. It's okay. It's okay. May God have mercy on his soul. So I don't mind him. It's okay. It's better than spammers. Those are the one things I just don't like dealing with. Because then I have to, like, it's harder to, like, keep up with comments and stuff because they're, like, flooding the chat. It's fine by me, though. Here's the thing, like, in the beginning, it's always the hardest. In the beginning, it's always the slowest. Now, I've been live streaming for, like, over whatever. This isn't my normal day of streaming, so the people who would normally be here aren't here. And that's okay. Like, I wasn't able to go yesterday, and I have a rule for myself. I gotta stream every week, and so that's why I'm here. But I think it's okay. Maybe this is exposing the stream to people, Monday people. I don't know. No, at least spammers are low-key helping you. I don't know if they're helping, dude. It's just annoying. Haters are fine. Haters are still engagement, dude. Do you know how much hate I've received on, like, some of the videos I've posted? Like, even that basketball video where, you know, the 3-point line video. I don't know if you know that one or if you were the one who brought it up, but dude, everyone's telling me I'm wrong. You're wrong, Unc. And everyone's calling me Unc. Do I look old? Like, yeah, I was just like, yo, I'm 34. How am I being called Unc already? That's crazy. So yeah, I'm so used to negativity online. It's fine. That's why you wear glasses inside? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm wearing glasses because it's bright here. Literally have a whole light bar right in my eyes, bro. And I gotta go to sleep. You know? Whatever. I wear glasses. I don't normally wear glasses. I'm trying something new. If I did streams earlier, I don't know. I used to, here's the problem, like, when I normally live stream on Sunday nights, and I usually start live streaming later at night, and then, you know, we go past midnight because the conversation's cool, and then I can't sleep for, like, the next 2-3 hours because I've been staring at lights all day or all night. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I did order some, like, different type of lenses, which will be the yellow lenses. Maybe that could help with the blue light blockers. I don't kick people, dude. I don't kick people. Which I know a lot of content creators do that. I hate when they do that. It's just like, if you cannot take a little bit of hate on social media by some strangers on the internet, you don't belong doing this crap. You don't belong doing it. I always hate that stuff. Joey from Portland, Oregon. Hey. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna kick you. You're welcome here, bro. I think we'll be friends one day. It's how it always starts. You don't even know, bro. I'm gonna give you a bear hug. Pause. I'm not gonna kick you. Why would I kick you? That's a weak move, not gonna lie. Man, how many times have you been kicked by other people? Nah, you're welcome here. The haters are welcome here. I actually used to say that a lot. Haters are welcome here. And I mean it. Like, that's how I made the friends on Twitch that I have. They're not on right now, but yo, like, originally they just, I don't know if you guys know, the Twitch guys are always, they get nasty real quick. Not like in a negative way, in a sexual way, as you can imagine. Like trolls on Twitch might be. And eventually, like, became friends with them because Here's the thing: if you're a content creator and you're getting some negativity from people, agree and amplify. Take what they say, flip it, and make it more extreme. It's really usually good strategy. And hating really just comes from a place of looking for attention, and that's okay. I get it. I see you, Eric. I see you. It feels like Eric Magneto type thing. It's like you went through some trauma, bro, and I can sympathize with that. It's okay. You have a home here, brother. You have a home here. But yeah, that's haters aren't bad. Haters aren't bad. Some other topics I prepared for tonight. Obviously, talked about the money printing. We could talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit. This video about money printing, how it really is just paper. All this is just paper that they print more of every year, anytime they need more of it. And people think it represents something these days. It doesn't. Literally, when you see it this way, it seems less meaningful, as if it were a separate bill. And the point I was trying to make in that video is that it's nothing. It literally is nothing but paper. But what people will do because it represents something is crazy. And so that was the point I was trying to make. And it's interesting because this video resonated with a lot of people, not just on TikTok, which, I mean, it's always TikTok that does. If a video is going to perform well, it's going to perform well on TikTok first. It's Instagram. Instagram, I think right now it's at 300-something thousand views. The weirdest thing, I think, is YouTube. It actually did well on YouTube as well. 15,000 views or something at this point, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is easily, by far, the most performing video on YouTube. And so I've only ever done this once before, where a video was able to go viral on multiple platforms. And I think there was a interview of Mr. Beast with, someone was interviewing him, and he was saying this is the first time in history where all these platforms, there is a potential for one video to go viral on all platforms at the same time, because they all have the same form factor, or at least the availability of a certain type of media that works on every platform, specifically short form vertical video. Before this wasn't possible. Instagram was trying to keep up with TikTok, obviously created their own thing. YouTube jumped the bandwagon. Facebook has always had video, but I think they've improved their vertical video stuff. LinkedIn started getting into the video thing. So essentially, we've gotten to a point where if you have the right video that has enough broad appeal, and then also Twitter, now X, also supports video now. And it actually has a scrolling feature and everything, and it works similar to TikTok. This is the first time in history where you can make one piece of content and have it do well on multiple platforms, which then makes it a no-brainer to post it everywhere. And I literally built an app to do that, because I got annoyed with how much effort it took to post content on multiple platforms. And I would literally just spend 15 minutes a day just going on each account and posting in. And then I was like, you know what, this is annoying. Let me build something for it. So I did. And then I ended up building this app to do it for me, which is cool. It's been a while since I updated the code on that, but it's pretty cool that's possible. And then I've had this happen before, where multiple videos were able to go viral on multiple platforms. Get a goatee? Maybe one day, but I like not having to take care of this beard. Literally all I do is comb it out. You a software dev? Not officially. I'm a software dev as far as building stuff for myself. Don't ask me to write a unit test. Don't ask me to, I don't even use GitHub that well. I use Git, but I don't use GitHub because I'm a solo developer. I just by myself, bro. And I'm self-taught too. Can you write a unit test? No, I didn't even bother learning that. When I learned how to build some software, it was literally, what do I absolutely need to learn to make this work? So I couldn't spin up a server if you asked me to, with Nginx. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to learn that one day, but I didn't. I literally just used Firebase for all my backends. Firebase was my backend. So I don't even consider myself that much of a backend developer if I'm using infrastructure as a platform. Can you spin up a server? No. I've messed around with droplets on DigitalOcean, but like if you asked me to set it up properly, it would take me a while. I'd have to do a lot of reading. So I'm not fast with any of this stuff, but I I have a lot of experience with like APIs, and that's what I end up doing. How did you access the API on these social platforms? You just make developer accounts and they issue you keys. It's pretty cool. YouTube is the most onerous. So you can get approved. They'll give you developer keys and you can start building right away. And then you can test them in Postman too. And that's what I ended up doing. I literally had to learn all this from scratch. I didn't know what an API was. I didn't know what Postman was. I didn't know any of this stuff when I first started learning. And this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago or something like that. I don't code as often as I should. So I'm still rusty on a lot of this stuff, but yeah, they issue you API keys. Now, in order to get your app for other people to use your app, you have to go through an approval process for some of the social platforms. Twitter at the time was the easiest, and that was the first thing I was able to get working. Instagram is a little weird. You have to go through Facebook or Meta now, and there's a whole like evaluation process. And otherwise, your app is it doesn't allow your API key to be used for another account. That isn't one that's associated with the developer account. There are certain, you can do things in the backend, but really you want it to be as seamless as, when they click that dialog box, or when they click that, like to use your app, it opens that dialog box and says it's good to go. YouTube was the worst, man. Oh my God. They have like all these requirements you got to fulfill. First of all, they use a credit system on YouTube. So every action that you could do with their server or with their platform has certain credits associated with it. And you're allotted 10,000 credits per day. But it turns out like a video upload is like 1,600 credits or something. So you can only upload like 8 videos a day using an account, unless you actually apply for like a larger allotment of credits and stuff. It's just a pain in the ass, man. And then finally, to get it approved, you have to go through their style guidelines and everything, because it has to match their branding. Yeah, oh my God, it pissed me off so much, because I was going back and forth with some like tech support in like some third world country or something, telling me, oh, your YouTube logo doesn't match the branding guidelines. I'm like, I gotta put a red button in this app that's themed purple, black, and white. Like, it's dumb. It was dumb. It pissed me off. And then eventually I got around it and I got it to work and it was cool and whatever. And like OAuth 2, the protocol seems straightforward, but it's different. It's implemented different on every social platform, even slightly, just, I don't know. Same here, been playing with Postman lately. Yeah, Postman's great. I hear there's another one, but I don't know. But yeah, like, Jordy, nice jacket, that new? No, I wore it when I was around you, the black one. Yeah, so if you guys have any software questions, let me know. I'll answer them. It was a learning experience for sure. I went from zero experience with software to building a social media posting app. It was a Next.js app. I used a template. I bought a template, and then all the backend was handled by Firebase. So I actually had to build cloud functions to automate the actual posting part. I had to learn all that. I had to learn Firebase storage so I can store the media and process the media. I had to learn scheduling too. So that was interesting. That was annoying to go through, because you think documentation is straightforward. It's not. And so I literally learned it from scratch. So I would say if you want to learn to code, pick an ambitious project and then learn what you have to learn to make it happen. And then you're going to struggle a lot. And then that's the easiest way. Not the easiest way, it's the hardest way to learn. But yeah. I mean, now it's easier, right? With AI, I did some projects using ChatGPT. Did they work? Did the projects work? I tried using ChatGPT to help me understand Electron, because after all dealing with all this crap, building this web app, I was like, you know what, maybe I just want to stick with desktop apps. And so since I have all this experience with JavaScript, I was like, you know what, let me learn Electron. And I was confused why it was structured the way it was, because you have this like main.js file, then you have this render file, then you have a preload file, which I was just like, what's a preload? And then obviously you have your CSS and stuff that handles, and then your HTML. And so the HTML and CSS, obviously, if you know web, that's straightforward. But the render file obviously renders the HTML and CSS and handles like all the JavaScript that happens on the interface. But then I was confused, like, what the hell's the point of this preload file? Like, why is that there? And I was hella confused, and so I go to ChatGPT. I'm like, yo, like, could you explain the reason for this? And it was giving me information, and it sounded good, but it didn't match their latest documentation. And then I started realizing it's like, oh, here's the limitation of ChatGPT. In the software world, things are updated all the time. APIs are updated, documentation is updated, systems are updated all the time. There's always new ways of doing things so quickly. And so that's the big limitation with ChatGPT. It's dated information. And what it was giving me was the old way Electron used to work before the preload file and why they structured it the way they did. Apparently, there's some huge security vulnerabilities when you give the app, the main, access to basically the entire computer system, the file system and everything like that. And so what they did as a way to circumvent this security issue was create this preload file, where you define the relationship between the front and the back. Basically the web part, which is the HTML, CSS, and render file, where JavaScript functions can happen, versus the main file, which is where all the like deep stuff can happen with the file system. And turns out, and then in that preload file, you're actually defining what that relationship is between the front, the render process, and the main process. And so that's why it was there, and that's what the documentation was trying to convey, but it wasn't clear to me at the time when I was reading it. But going through that ChatGPT, it was describing how it used to be done before they included all this extra stuff. So you have to know that. And so I'm realizing like ChatGPT has some limitations for sure. So it is what it is. Yeah, time saver, it runs so. Okay, it was just some basic predictive machine learning model deployed on basic web app. Okay. Hey man, I want some advice on how to be happier in life when you're struggling. Sorry, it's random. No worries with the randomness. How to be happier. It's weird. That's something that came up on the live stream last week. How to be happier, I think, is a spiritual problem. It's a spiritual problem. Like people who are so focused on worldly things and the world around us, which is most people, unless you found God. It's so easy to say like material stuff will change things. Money will change your life, opportunity, finding your purpose. I mean, even finding your purpose, like a lot of that requires a lot of exploration. That's what I've noticed for my own life. So all I can tell you is what has worked for me so far. I don't know if I would say I'm happy. I would say I'm close to being at peace. I've noticed I'm not quite there yet because for whatever reason, I clench a lot. My jaw clenches a lot. I don't know what the reason is behind it. I haven't quite figured it out, but I've noticed like really getting in touch with the spiritual stuff has been really helping me. And also gives perspective to like everything that I'm doing in the world that I'm in. Because I don't understand like why people are the way they are and why they do what they do and why the world is the way it is until I found God. And then that kind of shifted it all for me. I'm like, oh, this isn't the world for me. This is a fallen place. And then it all makes sense. And I'm like, this is not something to be worried about because this is the way it was supposed to be. And then you realize it's like, what's the point of living? What's the point of anything at all? And it turns out it's just living in the glory of God. And it's just like, oh, okay, this is what worked for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you too, but I would say happiness is a spiritual problem. So maybe that can reduce the problem scope a little bit. Man. I feel like I'm not focusing on myself enough, but I don't love myself enough to do anything for myself. Hmm. You don't. You're not focusing on yourself enough. I don't know. I don't know if the inward stuff would be helpful. I don't know. It's a tough question you're asking. Like, and man, like I'm still trying to figure stuff out. Um, but here's all right. So here's a different perspective on this. This is from Naval Ravikant. His stuff might be useful. Look him up. Where he describes like happiness is peace in motion, and he describes peace as happiness at rest. And what he talks about happiness, he brings up three things. Happiness really comes down to, man, what did he say? I know it ends with a house full of love. A healthy body, a healthy mind, and a house full of love, I think. And as far as some of the stuff he talks about, finding contentment in your work, man, I don't know if I'm doing it justice, but I think his podcasts are useful for this because he does take a philosophical approach on all of this stuff, which I found refreshing because it seems like, I don't know, the world we live in today, everyone's so focused on like things that are way too shallow that don't really elevate the human spirit. That's what I've noticed. And I've decided even when I make content, I don't want to be a part of like bringing the human spirit down. I want to do the opposite. Happiness is feeling like sadness. Feeling like sadness, it's not a constant state to be at. Sometimes it comes and goes. I think that's a really good point. It's ephemeral. It's ephemeral. I think for me personally, I'm going for peace. I'm going for peace. If you can be at peace, it turns out like that's all you can really ask for. Because like even when you have moments of happiness, they're usually temporary. Because then it becomes your new baseline. And so you'll always constantly be chasing this elation or this feeling of happiness if that's what you're really settling for. I appreciate the response. God bless. Yeah, I tried. Yes, peace or content. Yeah. It's a different thing, which is funny because I've noticed it's been more women I've run into who are like, I want to be happy. And I'm like, I don't know if you can just be happy like that. It's like there will be times in life that really suck, that really, really suck. And sometimes it won't be in your control and there's nothing you could do about it. Can you be at peace with those moments? I don't know. I think I found a lot of my answers through God. That's where my answers are. But I don't know what it means for you or any of you guys watching. But yeah. Oh, I'm surprised the Instagram stream is still working. I thought it was supposed to have like a 1 hour time limit, but hey, thanks for everyone else, for everyone who's watching on Instagram. What do you have in your mind, Joe, though? Is there anything I assume you work in software too, or maybe you dabble in it? Yeah, machine learning. And what exactly was it doing? Predictive machine learning model deployed on basic web app. I have this idea for a video idea. Maybe it'd be cool to share it with you, where I wanted to use AI to design sneakers, or specifically the colorway of a sneaker. So I found these white old school Reeboks on Amazon, and I was like, ooh, I've been looking for new shoes, and I was like, maybe my next set of shoes could be one that I design, or maybe I can help AI design or use AI to design it. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do some image processing first to like identify the boundaries of the panels using like edge detection. And I think I'm gonna be using ImageMagick, the ImageMagick library for that. And then basically draw the lines and then feed that into a machine AI model or something, some AI tool, and see if I can have it paint the shoes, essentially. And then maybe I'd have to make it paint a few times, a bunch of iterations, and then I think it'd be cool if I could share it with people on Instagram, you guys watching, and yeah, so paint sneakers. You know, they have like leather paint. I don't know if you like sneakers and stuff, like sneakerheads. Some people, it's a whole thing. I've recently got into it, like sneaker customization. It's pretty cool. This is a guy who uses like a tattoo gun to like paint essentially designs on the side of a white sneaker. It looks really cool. But I was thinking like, what if I can use AI to design sneakers? And it comes up with the colorway, and maybe I'd come up with a bunch of different designs and then share it on Instagram as stories and do like tournament bracket. You know how you can do a poll on an Instagram story? Just do tournament bracket basically. So every story would be like 2 different shoe styles, and people would choose one or two, and basically go through and then do it. How do they do it now? I mean, people just pick colors. What do you mean, how do they do it now? Like, you can buy white sneakers, get some leather based or some paint specifically for shoes, and design your own shoes, and that's what people do. And so obviously I have to paint it on myself, but it'd be cool if I could use AI to come up with a design that then I paint on the shoe, or at least come up with a bunch of designs and then share it with people on Instagram as stories, and then just do a tournament bracket thing, and whichever makes it to the finals or wins the whole thing, that becomes the final design for the shoe, and then I go paint it on the shoe. I think that'd be pretty cool. There are these like old retro Reebok high tops, and I've been looking for new shoes, and I was like, hey, why not just design? And I think it'd be an interesting video because, you know, obviously, here's the things to look for when it comes to like video content. I've noticed is like relatability, or things that are on top of mind. And AI is a really big thing right now, as you probably know. 444X Mira says, who the hell is this? I'm Ayman, bitch. I don't know, you followed the account, or maybe not. I don't know how Instagram works. This is literally the first time I've live streamed on Instagram. I'm also live streaming on TikTok. So he tells stories. Yeah, I guess I do. But right now I'm talking about a video idea of using artificial intelligence to design the colorway of a sneaker, and then me making it real in the world. I think that'd be really cool. And it'd be cool to involve the people on Instagram to help choose the design, so that you have the community aspect of it all. You have the AI stuff, which is on top of people's minds right now. So the search related, plus the idea of like showing before and after, and the title itself is, I think, sort of clickable, like AI designed this shoe or something like that. I'd have to work on the title. The thumbnail would be easy. It would just be a white shoe with the colored shoe, or maybe like I can put some graphics on there that convey that artificial intelligence, or maybe like ChatGPT or something like that. I think it'd have to be Dolly or something, but man, I think that's a interesting video idea, and plus it'd be cool. It'd be cool to make. And then if I can build it so that other people can use it too. So obviously I might have to use Image Magic to do the line detection, and then maybe use some other AI model to take those pictures and automatically color them. And then maybe I can seed it with a inspirational image. You know how like in Iron Man, Tony Stark says, throw a little bit of Hot Rod Red in there based on the hot rod. I actually put that image, that specific hot rod, into a color picker, and it pulled out all these colors. And I was like, ooh, maybe that's an interesting way. You can inspire it with a certain picture, and then it pulls out relevant colors and then creates the new colorway of the shoe. And then it'd be cool, like if I somehow got the Amazon API to work with it. This is a longer term vision for it, but like essentially it's like, all right, here are the closest colors of this paint product that come to these colors, and then basically it'll create a shopping cart of all the paints that you need, and then you can go and paint your own thing, your own sneaker, and then you can show it off and be like, I think there's a lot of synergies that can happen with this idea, but I think it'd be cool. Black Peter joined. I don't know who Black Peter is. Oh, you like the idea? Sup, I'm in. Dude. Okay, why so aggressive, bro? Thank you for going live. Remember that you are loved. Yeah. Wait, what's your name? My name's Ayman. 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 Yeah. So, I think that'd be a cool project to work on. I have so many ideas, man. Like last week, I talked about a cookie delivery service using software to solve the traveling salesman problem in a real-time way using Google Maps API and and coordinating with like a supply vehicle and all this stuff. Check out imanjin.ai. Let me check it out. Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be? Ooh, interesting. Product visualization reimagined with fine-tuned AI. Very interesting. Oh, they already have a sneaker designer? Oh, thank you for that, bro. Yo, I can just use this. Thank you for that shortcut, man. Sneakerheads rejoice. Imanjin AI is here to help you design your next pair of kicks in seconds, limited only by your imagination. Design, share, vote on your favorite AI generated sneakers with our amazing tool for free. Yo, this is exactly what I was thinking. Bro, I don't even have to build this up. Okay. Design your own one-of-a-kind sneakers in seconds with the power of AI. Just describe it and imagine. Okay, I'm gonna put the link in on Instagram, and yeah, here you go. You guys check this out. Thank you for that, Joe. Great, coming through. That's so cool. Just describe it and imagine, do the rest. Love the design. You can have it custom made for you. Oh, I hope that. Oh, they got Air Force Ones. They got Jordans. Let's see. And then you can customize them. Oh, that's cool, bro. Thank you for that. I think Trump's gonna win the election. Do you really, Matt? Do you really? I don't know. I don't think people have felt enough pain yet. You can customize the Yeezys. Ooh, just describe your sneaker design or inspiration. Imagine, do the rest. Hot rod inspired sneakers. Generate. Please don't make me log in. Just do it. Choose a plan. 4 sneaker options per generation. Watermark free images. No daily limits. All sneakers saved. High resolution downloads. It's generating right now. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know if Trump's gonna win. It'd be cool, but I don't think people are ready for that yet. From blah to bam, upload a handful of boring photos and selfies. Let Imagine AI turn them. How do they pay for this, man? That's the thing with all these like AI companies using. I don't know. It's got to be expensive. Because those of you who don't work in software, like, unless they're building their own AI models, and even then, like, the cloud cost of all this. Oh, please try again. It doesn't even work. Let me see. Let me try that again. What's up, man? What's up, bro? What's good? What's good? I'm trying to design some sneakers right now. But this might be it, bro. It's weird that they spell imagine so weird. Let's see if I get started. I hate having to create. Please agree to the terms and service. It'd be cool to actually do this eventually as a live stream. You guys can watch this too, and we can actually design sneakers together. See, these are interesting things to do. Let's see. I'm just logging in right now. Let's see. Okay. Thank you for that, though. I'll look at it after. Man. Let's see. Comment. You should definitely figure out a share split screen thing. I feel like I'm in the dark. Yeah. I'm not showing anybody. This is how people feel when you're talking on the phone around people, it's just like it gets annoying because you're only hearing one side of the conversation, so it's incomplete. I think that's the thing. It's like, yeah. This is also true for like podcasts that primarily do video only. When they talk about things in a visual way or they're just showing something on screen, it takes you out of the thing when you're just listening to the audio feed, which, man, it's a shame podcasters don't even care to like at least cut that portion out or whatever. They keep it in there, and then when you're listening to it because you're an audio only person, it's annoying to listen to. Do you think your $2 bills will get high value after years if you don't cut it? No, I don't think so. Unless the US Mint stops printing them, but they print them. They were out of stock a few weeks ago. Literally, I got a text message saying they're back in stock, so no, I don't think. You can buy one at usmint.gov. For those of you who don't know what he's asking or referring to, he's referring to this sheet of $2 bills. You can buy different versions. It doesn't just have to be the $2 bill. They also have a $100 bill, which would be essentially worth $1,600. But yeah, no, this isn't rare, bro. It's not rare. Well, I mean, it's kind of, you have to order it from the US Mint, and you do pay a premium for this because it is in demand. But yeah, no, it's not going to be worth anything. Only to me. Only to me. So, yeah, I'm just thinking like origami might be an interesting way if I like can make a large origami kind of. I used to do origami a lot as a kid, so I actually have a few designs that I can probably do. I know how to do a reindeer, obviously a box is simple. I can do whatever. That would be interesting. Just turn it into like a giant box, origami box, and just like puff it, and then it would just be like a bunch of bills. And and then just play with it in the streets or something. It would be funny to do with the $100 bill version of this. Not gonna lie, it'd be really cool. I had this conversation with my fiance, and she's like, "It's probably not a good idea." I'm just like, I don't know. It's irresponsible maybe to be playing around, messing around with a sheet that's worth technically $600. But to me, it's just paper, so I don't care. But it is $1,600. But it's paper. It's just paper, guys, with ink and a plastic strip on it. But it's paper. It's just paper. And what better way to show how meaningless this paper is than by playing with it in ludicrous ways? You know? I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a crazy idea? Like the idea I came up with was like buying the $100 version of this, essentially buying it from the US Mint for $1,600, and then doing a social experiment where I crumple it up, put some dirt on it or whatever to make it like look old and ratted, whatever, and then put it next to a public trash can, like on the outside, like as if someone tried to throw it in there, but it fell outside, and see how many people walk by it before they actually pick it up. Because it's essentially $1,600 on the floor in public. And I think in that form factor, displayed that way, people would just walk by it because it would look fake. Even this $2 bill telling people like it's real, people still question me on it. It's got to be fake. It's like, no, it's not fake. It's real. I bought it. It's real. As far as real as real money can be, which doesn't really mean anything because they can print as much of it as they'd like. I'm sure there's some sort of like federal balance sheet that tracks all of this to make sure they don't print too much. But I mean, it's all on faith, guys. And we know there's all that dark money out here. Where do you think dark money comes from? It comes from the mint. It comes from the mint. That's what I'm saying. This is the sucky thing about inflation, guys. The people who get access to the money first get to spend it at full value. And then as it works its way through the system, then the inflation starts to really eat at it. And so the people who get the money last, which tend to be the poorest among us, get it with the least value. And so this is how it works. Where does the Federal Reserve send the money? To banks. And so the people at the banks get to enjoy inflation-free money, essentially. while the rest of us get to deal with it later. It sucks. When people wonder if the game is rigged, yes, the game is rigged. Sorry. It sucks. Can we unrig it? I don't know. I'll try my best. It'd be cool if we can remedy some of these situations that we're all in, but I don't know. There has to be enough people out there like me, or even like you guys, because I feel like the people who mess with table moments, you guys are different people for sure from most, and I like it that way. But we just kind of have to be people who are willing, who want to see change in the world and are willing to go out and make it happen, even if it comes at a huge sacrifice to ourselves. Because it's so easy to go take an easier path. Right now, I'm reading a book on high frequency trading. And I've read this book before. It's called Flash Boys by Michael Lewis. And he explains how these high frequency trading firms, is essentially like hedge funds, whatever, employ these strategies on being super, super fast to the market, way faster than all the other players, that they can essentially make trades without ever losing money, because they have pricing information faster than everybody else, and they can act on that information faster than everyone else. And so, but imagine the kind of intellect you would have to deploy to make something like that work. You'd have to understand networking. You'd have to understand networking at the highest level. We're talking about fiber optics, and we're talking about microseconds, like fractions of a second, bro. That you have to be faster than everybody else because these computer systems are already fast. You have to learn how to read this information, act on it quickly. Imagine the kind of software background you would have to need to be able to write the software that does this, that's super memory efficient, that's super fast and super small and lean, that can make decisions so quickly. And then think about all the people to make that happen. And then you realize it requires such smart people with so much talent to be able to move electrons so quickly to make trades on an electronic market. And then you wonder, could these minds, these great minds, have been used in some other way to advance humanity instead of moving electrons faster than everybody else to make dollars, pennies off of every trade, billions of times a day? And you just realize the incentives of our economy don't make sense in certain sectors. They don't make any sense. They literally take the smartest people to do the dumbest things. The dumbest things. That's what we're dealing with. And it's just wow. And the people who are working on it don't realize how stupid it is, because it's all driven by this stuff here, money. And I'm not trying to demonize money. I mean, it has its purpose. It's a universal trading system. I get it. It's supposed to it's like bartering, but a far more efficient way of bartering. It's supposed to exchange value, but at this point, they're just printing it as much as they want, as much as they need, at which point it's just yeah, today's dollars only buys a fraction of what it could have bought years ago. We're all struggling to be able to afford housing, and everything, the cost of everything's going up. It never goes down unless it's technology, in which case it's the technological advancements that outpace the pace of inflation. It's not that the money has become more valuable. And then people feel like they can't get ahead, and I understand, because it's just how are you going to get ahead when literally the money you're earning is worth less every year? How? And then you realize the people, the wealthiest among us, don't even bother with that. It's their assets that inflate. At least they value, and it's all right, so you need assets. It's all right, how do you get assets in the first place? Turns out the easiest way to get into the asset game is to have money. And it's just you realize all these successful people out here, when they get into real estate or whatever, you realize that's their second play. Their first play was starting a business. And so you start realizing all right, the only way to win is to start a business. But then you realize how often businesses fail. And then leads to another video I posted this week where I was talking about how being smart is actually a curse. How being smart lets you overanalyze things, overthink things, analysis paralysis, as they say. And you can always talk your way out of deals and opportunities, which is why smart people generally don't start businesses. They don't. It's just this whole tragic thing, and it's just all right, this is the world we live in. I don't know. I don't think any of it's right. So I'm wondering if I can be a small, tiny cog in changing that. And I think having a platform like this could be a piece of that. That's that's all I know. That's all I know. And figuring it out as I go along. That's literally all I'm doing. And we'll see how it goes. But so far it's been working. Or at least building an audience stuff. Earning money off of doing content independently. So that's not any sponsorships or anything like that. Literally, it's either money from the platform, TikTok, which I haven't been relying on. It's literally just been sales of like this product that I make that I made 5 of these today and sent them out in the mail today. I think it's pretty cool that I'm actually making something. And literally the beginning stages of making this sustainable, very beginning stages, but it's crazy that you can actually earn money if you're willing to put in the work doing this. Not necessarily the money part, but just exchanging value. So making something that came out of my mind and now someone is using this wallet literally today. There are 30 people who are using this wallet today, or at least hoping that you use it. They bought it at least. Don't use the money. It's really rare and can be worth a lot one day. No, it's not rare. It's not rare. $2 bills are still in circulation, and that uncut currency can be ordered from usmint.gov. You can buy one right now. Like literally, you can just go there. If you guys are curious on where to buy uncut currency, I'm gonna put it in the chat right here. usmint.gov. This is where you buy them. usmint.gov. Like, uncut money is rare. It's not rare, dude. You can order it. You can literally order it. It's a novelty item. Honestly, I think they should charge less than what the money's worth. Because they don't have to do the cutting process. At least a few pennies. That'd be cool, but it's not rare, bro. You could literally buy one, bro. Go buy one. You don't have to buy the 16 bill version. You could buy the 8. Let's see how much it costs right now. US Mint uncut currency. Let's see. You can get the $1 version of that. So the one I bought, you can buy for 61 bucks. You can also buy a 32 note version. So it's like 2 of what I have as one sheet. Maybe I might get one of those for 102 bucks. Pretty cool. You can do, let's see, a 25 note sheet of $1 bills. You can do that for 50. It's sold out right now though. Let's see. Ooh, this one might be cool. $1 50 note sheet. So 50 $1 bills attached to each other. That could be cool. You can do a 20 note sheet of that. That's cool too. But you could do this with it. I think this is the most affordable option. Is a 10 note sheet of $1 bills. That you could easily frame that. That'd be cool. I don't know. I mean, if you guys want to buy it, buy it. Like nothing's stopping you. So they're not rare. Plenty of people have them, and the mint still prints them. So they're not rare. But some people did come up with some interesting ways to use it. I think the most interesting right now is origami. I haven't thought of anything else outside of that. Yeah. All right. What do you guys have on your mind though? I don't know if I have much more in me. We're approaching 2 hours. Do you guys have any questions? We'll do a quick question round if you guys have any. I'll answer any of your any issues you got going on in your life right now. I'll answer them. And then I think that might be a way to close it out. I haven't quite figured out the structure of this live stream yet. Like it's up in the air. Really don't know. I want to. There's certain things I want to, like adding music and being more structured, and maybe going. I was thinking about this today. A monologue might be interesting to actually just like go speak and talk about something specifically, like Kevin Samuels used to do, and then maybe do a Q&A That would, I don't know, Q&A might be a bit much, but it would be cool to like share the screen or like some of the things I've built this week or created, and then you guys could be a part of it. I think it would be also cool to like live stream the build process of stuff I'm working on, and you guys get to see it in real time and see what problem solving looks like. I think that'd be really cool. But where do you see yourself in the state of the world in 5 to 10 years? I don't know. Like, I used to have a bunch of plans about the future, and I've recently come to the revelation that I'm not in control. And so I don't know if I see myself anywhere particularly anymore. I see you guys, like, if you think about time travel, or I think it was like Endgame, where they were talking about like the Infinity Stones and like the different branches you could take, the different branches. And so that's all I see. All these potential things that can happen. And I don't know what it's going to be, and I'm probably wrong about all of them. And that's where I'm at. So, state of the world, I don't know, worse. Like, I don't imagine it getting much better, but worse is good. Worse is biblical. So, maybe that's a good thing. Teach us how to get rich. I don't know. I don't know if how to get rich. If you can offer something, the easiest or the most obvious way to make money is to offer something, take the same amount of resources but get more out of it, or make the same amount of resources using, or make the same amount of things with less resources. Essentially being able to take something, get way more value out of it than anyone else can. That's essentially what wealth creation is. You're literally creating stuff through technology. That's what the Industrial Revolution was all about. Creating these machines to be able to output way more using the same amount of energy. That's essentially what machines did. And that's what automation is. That's what software is essentially. That's what, like, inventing the nitrogen process for like a fertilizer. Essentially, you were able to create far more fertilizer for farms and stuff, and that's how you're able to feed the world, is because you created a new way to put more nitrogen in the nitrogen process, essentially. But so free will doesn't exist? Yeah, it doesn't. I'm still trying to square this idea up, bro. I haven't figured it out yet, but no, free will doesn't exist. Or at least maybe, I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure it out. I have no clue. I thought it did, but nah. Let's see. Jordy on YouTube says, "Can you tell us a story of something scary or something that you saw as scary that you experienced as a kid?" I don't know. When I broke my teeth, it was pretty awful. I don't know if it was scary. It was just like traumatic. It's traumatic. Scary. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about one. You're definitely giving Morpheus vibes right now. Giving Morpheus right now. You definitely are giving Morpheus right now. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe this can help me fall asleep, because I don't like staying up. I don't know. I think I'm more inviting with these off. I think I am, but I was trying something new. We'll see. We'll see if the retention here, or you guys feel like it's easier to connect when you can see my eyes, which actually might be a human persuasion thing. Being able to see eyes it's more inviting. Read Sam Harris's book, Free Will. It does make you wipe your nose less. Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe it's the light that aggravates my whatever is going on in my nose. Sam Harris. Free. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Harris becomes religious one day. You know? Turns out, like, all these like public atheists end up finding God later on. And then what does it mean for all the things that they said up to that point? All the people they led away from religion. I think about that a lot. I'm just like, imagine being the person who took people away from God, who convinced people away from God. And then you find God and you're just like, yo, all the thing. I don't know. Do you guys think about this stuff? That's why I'm even kind of worried sometimes with like the content I put out here. If it's not like elevating the spirit in some way, or at least is neutral about it, then I don't care to make it. And so, yeah, there's certain things I just won't make, even though I know it could easily get views. Are we living in a simulation or not? I don't know. Depends how you define simulation. That's where I think it's just like, I don't know, everything now I've been framing in the context of religion since I've been really deep into that lately. And could you describe it all as a simulation? Yeah, I mean, like, if you think about it, like, um, we are put on this earth, and the goal, or at least the mission, is to not be so concerned about what's going on here, but the kingdom of God. I mean, would you consider heaven a simulation too? I don't know, it gets really confusing for me. So I don't know if I can say that we are living in a simulation or not. I'd have to think about that one. What do you guys think though? Do you think we're in a simulation? I don't know. I don't know. But like I do like the idea. I don't know, I've just been reading a lot. I've been reading the book of Matthew lately, and it's been interesting reading some of the stuff in there. You know, he was the tax collector, right? If I remember correctly. So putting that all in perspective, the accounting of it all, it's very matter of factly. Matter of fact, this is what happened, this is what happened, all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you, all right, so as far as that question, something scary as a kid, uh, I mean, yeah, for those of you who don't know, these two teeth right here, they're crowns. They're not real. Um, these are recent replacements. The older versions didn't look as good, and you can see them in some of my older videos. I actually injured both of these two front permanent teeth when I was a kid ice skating. Fell face first into the ice, chipped both, literally like in half, and just bleeding everywhere. Which, I mean, yeah. And then then they ended up putting the crowns on it, and I had those crowns for like 20 years. And then they just recently been replaced. So it's interesting. Like this is weird, especially doing the social media stuff. I realized like appearances matter way more than I care to be true. Ree Singapore says hello. Hey Ree, how's it going? So I don't know. Like I have this theory: social media is for the beautiful and the disfigured. If you're not either one of those, you have to be good at sharing some information with someone. If you're just a normal looking person, it's going to be a grind for you on social media. If you're attractive, obviously people are drawn to the attraction. If you're a female who's attractive, it's even easier because there's a lot of thirsty dudes on social media. They will just follow you and give you engagement and likes, hoping you give them some attention back. The thirst is real out here, guys. It's very real. Which is why I think it's like if you're an attractive woman and you're not capitalizing, and you care to capitalize on your looks on social media and you're really kind of dropping the bag. I'm not gonna lie, you are. Sorry, you are. You've been given something most people don't have, and you can't convert that. Not necessarily you have to. Like if social media is not your thing, you don't care for the attention, fine. Yeah, don't do it. I don't recommend you do it just for the sake of doing it. But if you have a desire for it and you're not capitalizing on it, that's crazy. That's crazy to me because you have no idea how much easier this game is for you. No clue. Does money buy happiness? No, I don't think so. I personally wouldn't say it does. Like I was saying before, happiness I think is a spiritual problem. So there's no way worldly stuff like money could solve it, you know? And even like we were talking about earlier, like happiness isn't like a permanent state. It's a temporary thing. And so like I think the better term is being at peace or content. And even those things I don't think money can buy. Like it can buy, money can solve physical and worldly problems for sure if you have any of those, but up to a certain point. And you actually, I remember watching a 2020 segment where they were explaining how there's a limit on, as they defined it, happiness, an income limit. Anything more than, I think at the time, $70,000, which might equate to about $100,000 today, did not, anything more than that did not buy any more happiness or contentment from people. And so, when people chase money, it's just like, what are you chasing? What is this for? Because if you can put a roof over your head, food on the table, you can provide for your health needs or whatever, and you have enough money in the bank that there's no problem big enough you can't buy your way out of, which you don't need that much to make to be true, then what is the rest of it for? And it turns out, like, people who are chasing money, and like, you realize they're trying to feed something else. I'm not sure. For every person, it might be a different thing. Or maybe when they were younger, they didn't have enough and they were always worried about that. But I mean, what's the point of it all? Is capitalism bad for the US society? Here's the thing. Like, capitalism without some moral framework, it can lead to corruption. Like, capitalism isn't enough to rule a people and their economy. Like, even the framers, I heard someone say this, the framers of the founding fathers of the country and the foundation of the country, when they were forming it and deciding how the country would be run, not necessarily that they called out capitalism specifically. I'm not even sure if they did, but it's the idea, the idea was that it would be for a moral people. Like, I don't think they understood that eventually people would move away from that idea. And in fact, like, the founders were Christian. Yeah, you can say they owned slaves and all that, and I get it, whatever. Victims of their time, maybe, I don't know. But like, the idea was people had faith. That's what kept the humans' corruption in check. It's not capitalism will naturally, if it's just purely capitalism, it will naturally lead to corruption. The same way socialism does too. Like, any economic system would lead to corruption eventually, because the players involved are naturally corruptible. And it's the idea of, like, some sort of moral framework that keeps the human spirit in check, And without that, it's no wonder capitalism has become what it's become. Now, we live in America, and so it is a capitalist society, and so we can quite clearly see the drawbacks of it. But the people who grew up in a socialist country see the pretty awful experience that could be too. And so it's like, I don't think, here's the thing, socialism could work if people were moral. Why not? Yeah, if everyone cared. Here's the thing, the incentive problem, socialism has an incentive problem. Like, people don't care to work hard for the sake of working hard. They care to work hard for incentives. And then if you take away those incentives, people don't work. And that's the problem with socialism. It takes away those incentives, not accounting for the human, how people are and how selfish they are and how self-interested and motivated they are. Capitalism flips that on its head and says, hey, we understand how people are. And what if we can incentivize their selfishness and their self-interest in a way that's good for other people? And so that's the idea. Like, you serve others. You make what other things people want. Now, naturally, in a ruthlessly capitalistic society, it will accrue to the top performers, and in a very uneven distribution, incredibly uneven. And this is where I think the whole morality and balance can have, I don't know if it needs to be government, because government tends to corrupt hella on its own. So I think this really comes down to a cultural problem. You know how they say, like, the Black community, fathers need to be in their lives, and they need to graduate high school and not have babies out of wedlock. It's like, the Republicans always talk about it's a cultural problem, issues with the Black community. I think the problems of America are cultural problems. And it's us, we, the people, who have to change ourselves to make it what we think it should be. When will the USA do something about our gun problem? What's it going to take to get serious about it? I don't think it needs to do anything about it. I mean, the Second Amendment is so clear on this. Like, I don't wait till if you can convince 3/4 of states to amend the Constitution. Yeah, we can start having that conversation. But until then, it's pointless. That's how I feel about it. And I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer specifically. So to me, it's just a machine. And you think you're gonna, I don't know, people think you can outlaw a machine or technology. It's just like blows my mind. I literally saw I think a short or a TikTok or something of someone who built in like a handle, like a twist handle into, or a twist crank onto a handle of one of those that essentially turned a regular AR into a Gatling gun. I'm just like, yeah, all right. So now they're going to pass legislation to keep this little plastic little handle thing from being able to rapid fire. It's like, this is how dumb legislation has become. And so it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, technology, restrictions on tech. And the funny thing is, these lawmakers, in passing these laws to restrict the use of this stuff, have essentially are sparking creativity in this space, because people are saying, okay, here's what the legislation says. How can we work around it? And so they're inventing new stuff. They're inventing new stuff when we could have just had the basic stuff that we all knew. So that's how the bump stock stuff came about. Someone invented it as a way to, like, I don't know. It's just funny. Like, legislators thinking they can stop technology. It's like, whatever, it's cute. I'm a mechanical engineer too in Virginia. You have to be 21 to buy a gun, but can own one at 18. Makes sense, right? Why do you have to be 21 to buy it? If you can own one at 18. I mean, you can vote at 18, so why shouldn't you be able to buy one at 18? Well, why do you even have to be 18? Why not 16? Why not? I mean, like, it's a machine. Like, is someone going to stop you from buying a car? You can hurt people with a car. Like, yeah, it's not the intent by the design, but it's just like, all right, it's a machine. It's a glorified rock thrower. Can you buy a bow and arrow at 18, at 16? Like, I don't understand. You can buy, there's a lot of things you could buy that are dangerous in your teens. So he can get deported by AFD? What do you mean? Come to Germany? What's wrong? Oh, what's it? I've been to Germany, though. I've been to Germany. I was in Berlin, New Year's Eve, 2019. And, you know, the Germans are these very strict people, and they're very tight and precise with everything. And then New Year's comes around and they go ham with the fireworks. These people are dangerous. They're dangerous. You can buy fireworks at 16 or whatever. Like, are we really serious? Those are explosives. So I don't understand why the specifically firearms are the thing that they have to restrict. Doesn't make sense to me at all. You be careful around those Germans on holiday times, because they go wild. I remember so I specifically went to Germany for New Year's Eve when I was doing my Euro trip in 2019. I wanted to be in Germany for that because I heard how crazy they get with fireworks. And yeah, they're pretty crazy. Like, literally, you know how, like, in America, we're like sitting at the edge of a lake or like at the far away at a field somewhere, and they'll just be launching it like maybe a mile away, half a mile away, something like that. Nah, in Berlin, bro, literally, like, in the city streets, they're launching these fireworks between buildings. They were even playing a game where they throw fireworks at each other. So there's like two crowds of people, one on either side of the street. What they would do is light fireworks and throw it on the other side. And the game was, can you put out the firework with your feet before it explodes? And they were just playing this in the streets of Berlin, bro. It's wild, man. And I was like, ooh, this is cool. Let me get closer to the action. Let me capture this. And then the firework got thrown to my side of the street with the people, and they tried to put it out, but they missed. and then realize, oh crap, it's about to go off, and we all start running away, and then boom, like all around us. And I got it on video too, but I was like, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm out. It's crazy. Thoughts on men's rights activism? I understand why they form, but I don't think you're gonna be able to politely ask for equal treatment. Not men. Women can ask for things, and get them, but not men. Men sort of have to take them, not violently, but just be adamant about certain things, and we're living life in a certain way, and we're not going along to get along anymore. Which is my problem with it, because they're asking politely. No one's gonna give you what you guys deserve. No one. It's just like, so that's the problem with it. But I understand their sentiments and their feelings. It makes sense to me. Like, family law is pretty skewed. Marriage law, I guess, too. But I mean, you don't have to participate in some of those things unless you want to. So that's why you see a lot of, like, they say the marriage rate or a divorce rate is dropping, as if it's like a positive sign for marriage. No, it's not. What's actually happening is fewer people are getting married, so divorces don't even happen in the first place. That's what's happening. People are checking out, or at least men aren't dealing with it anymore. So, I mean, I understand that. It's like, why? I understand the financial incentives people have for not wanting that, but it is what it is. A meta-analysis found that nowadays there's more work discrimination against men than women. I can deem it to you. No, I'm sure it's true. I mean, like, especially in certain industries where, a lot of corporations try to really push this diversity stuff, which I'm sure I've been the beneficiary of, considering I'm black, and I bring some diversity to those company photos, So I know that's probably, I've benefited from it. I also know that I'm competent enough to have earned the job myself. And so I don't let it bother me, and my work speaks for itself. So, but I totally get it. Like, did you say you were an engineer? Let me see. Oh, no, that was Lucas. But yeah, I've been in an office where there was a female engineer. And I was just like, I don't know if it's thirst of the hiring department, or if they could, because there's two classes of female engineers, right? There's the hot ones. They're not even that hot. Well, God, oh, you're a comp sci. Okay, so this. Like, there are classes. There's two classes, at least some two major classes of female engineers, right? You have they don't look that good, but they know their stuff. There's that class of women, and then you have the sixes, and who are normally like sixes, right? So you have like the better looking ones who are like 6, maybe 7, but because they're in that space where there are very few women, they get treated like 8s and 9s, and they have that sort of energy, and it's annoying. It's annoying, and all the other thirsty dudes, especially nerds in these STEM fields, act way too thirsty in these spaces, and give her a lot of attention, and I think it does get to their heads, but whatever. But it is what it is. You can't change dudes. Dudes are always thirsty, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. I just learned to become disappointed in people. It's just like, yeah, thirst is real, and it's a huge advantage when it comes to employment and social media specifically. Like, if you're a relatively decent looking girl, you can kill it on social media if you're willing to put in the work, and you will have an easier time growing than your male counterpart, for sure. You won't want to believe it, but it's true. Which is why it's like, sucks to see them drop the bag. It's like, you can do this if you really put in the work, but whatever. That's how I feel about it. It's a song, by the way. What's the song? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I don't know. That's the problem with, like, when I don't keep up with comments, where if I just like go off on a tangent or somewhere, then you guys leave a comment and I forget what you're referring to. But yeah, I don't have to go into that whole like, if you know, you know. If you worked in engineering, and there are disadvantages with being a dude, but I think it's okay because I think it makes you better for sure. I think the constraints that are imposed on us actually make us be better, which sucks. Here's the thing: it's what I know you guys aren't going to like this, but it was George W. Bush I think said it: the soft bigotry of low expectations. You know, and I think this is particularly what Black people have to deal with. But I think for women, it's the soft bigotry of good looks. I think maybe I'm gonna have to work on that. It doesn't quite sound right. I think their morals and dignity stops them from doing that. Hmm. Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't say anyone just go into social media. I only got into social media because I'm trying to grow a podcast. That's literally how this started. I'm not a social guy like that. I wasn't even before the podcast. I didn't have an account, or I had a personal account and never posted anything. I only do this to build an audience that might be useful to me and the rest of you out here who need some clout. I'm telling you, it is a lot easier to ask. Like, I just invited a guy to have a conversation about creativity. I'm gonna have that conversation on Wednesday. If this account still had 50 followers on Instagram, I don't think he would have said yes. But now that it's at 54,000, people say yes. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I don't know. It's cloud is weird, man. It's weird. That's the thing. Like, I even post old videos. I literally just posted an old video that originally had like 200 views. Now I think it's sitting at 7,000. Same video. And it's just like, what's the difference? I have clout now. That's the only difference. And I could let it piss me off, but I won't, because it's like you will get to a point where your stuff is good enough. All right? It will be good enough, and yet people will not see it because you don't have the social proof yet. And so it's the early people who follow on because they genuinely like the content. These are the people I like to call the tastemakers. You guys are early to this. I know eventually the live streaming, there's going to be way more people watching eventually. And I actually prefer this where it's like a smaller like gathering. But you guys are the tastemakers. You're the ones who legitimize people who don't have clout yet. And it'd be cool if I can use this platform and this audience to help put people on. Because I remember the grind. Editing these episodes of the podcast that nobody was listening to. I remember that. And I anticipated that eventually I'd build an audience and people would eventually listen to these episodes. So I actually edited the podcast, everything on the feed. I edited them to be timeless so that you can jump into any episode and enjoy it without having to know what was going on at that time. The reason why I don't do topics that are related to current events, because I know it would immediately date the podcast. And I think this is the trap a lot of content creators and even podcasts these days, they take that easy approach of like, what's going on in the news? And then you realize you cannot listen to that episode more than a week out of when it was posted because it's all dated information. But that's the easiest way to grow quickly, but it's not a way to make your stuff timeless. And I took a different approach with this. And it was a bet I made, even when no one was listening, but I think it'll pay off. That video made about food placement in the microwave was fire. Thanks, man. Yeah, dude, I like making those kind of videos where I explain something. It's just, I have to come up with the idea. And that one was the first time I realized maybe Instagram is a place where people actually appreciate learning something new. Which I thought Instagram was just a place for like thotties and flexing on people, which is why I had a strong dislike of it for a long time and why I primarily focused on TikTok. But now I'm like, oh, okay, maybe there is a lane here I can carve where I'm looking for that Venn diagram, right? Things I care to make and things people care to watch, and then find that overlap. Where's that overlap? For the longest while, I thought those circles did not have any overlap. Now I'm realizing there is. And so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. So not only just like commentary on like what money actually is, but stuff like microwave. I have some video ideas prepared. I just haven't shot the B-roll for it. That explains some of the things that we take for granted. Like someone on TikTok, I think, Kate gave me this idea of like explaining why is it hard to eat a pizza when it's fresh out of the oven? Because the cheese will burn your mouth, but the crust you could eat right away. And there I can talk about heat capacity. Um, and I haven't shot the video for that yet, but that's planning. I also wrote a script for another video where I explain how traffic lights actually change. How does a traffic light know that you're there? Have you ever considered that? When you pull up to a red light, how does it know that your car is there? And, you know, like if you were to give some guesses, you might think a pressure plate, maybe cameras, whatever. It's like, no, no, no. It's not how that works. And so I was going to explain the science of inductors and electricity and how electricity is closely related to magnetism and how you can use that to detect large metallic things like a car and some of the issues that smaller vehicles have of not being able to influence the electric current that's going on underneath the car. And the trick you could use is by using some strong magnets underneath your vehicle. And so I think that would be an interesting video to make too. I respect that you came out of the closet, OG. You were a real one. Which closet? The one R. Kelly was in? Can you buy me an iPhone 17 Pro Max Deluxe Plus Ultra Gold and Platinum VIP? Eesh, that's a lot. I can print you a picture of an iPhone. Is it night for you? It is night for me. What? Keep doing your thing, I'm in. I've recently been using TikTok to learn various things. TikTok and Twitter are my most used. Yeah. I know, it's interesting. People still call it Twitter. Even I have a hard time calling it X. I'm not quite there yet. I thought it was timed. Yes, some places are timed. But the intelligent ones where there's like a lot of traffic and where detection needs to happen, it's not timed. Could you make a quick summary of that microwave video? I never found it. Yeah, so I explain what was my hook for that? The hook is the most important thing in the video. I forget what it was. It's like, oh yeah, the hook. Man, this was a moment of like divinity came to me. That's what I'm gonna give all credit to. It was not my cleverness. I don't know how I came up with this hook, but why does a microwave have a rotating tray? That was the hook. And the important thing to understand about this hook is that it got you curious about something you never even considered and something you're very, very familiar with and something you probably use every day. That was the accident. I didn't know that. And this is just like a post analysis of this whole content thing. So that was the hook. Why does a microwave have a rotating tray? And I explained the functioning of a microwave, how it has this magneton. I think that's how you say it. Is essentially shooting electromagnetic radiation. One of the key things in that video was the word radiation. It's accurate, okay? I was being accurate when I used the word radiation because that's what it is. Visible light is electromagnetic radiation. Like anything, like a lot of things that we interact with emit electromagnetic radiation. But when people heard the radiation, they associated it with nuclear radiation, which then they were sharing it on their stories and warning other people. But essentially the summary of the video is I was explaining it has a rotating tray because the electromagnetic radiation comes from a source, a device that then shoots it at the food, but then also bounces off the walls of the microwave. And when it bounces back, there is a chance that the microwave can actually cancel itself. If you know anything about waves, which if you're a CS major, maybe you've taken some electricity and magnetism courses, you shouldn't have some experience or at least maybe understand that a little bit, but like waves can cancel each other out. And so essentially the rotating tray tries to avoid that. The cancellation can happen at certain spots in your microwave. And so the rotating tray actually is a way to avoid that dead spot problem. And then, which is why I give the tip at the end where if you're gonna put your food in, put it at the edge of the tray, not at the center, because the center is the only spot that doesn't move translationally inside the microwave. And so that's essentially the video. And I think it's sitting at 10 million views right now. I did not expect it was going to do that. Food in the center is cold. Yeah, that's essentially the point. You my favorite black white guy, bro. This is a joke from your reel you made. Yeah, I know. Favorite black white guy. That's funny because like, I don't know. It's funny. I seem to attract, my experience has been, although I might come off that way, I've only ever been in relationships with black girls, so like, yeah, so it's interesting. It's fine. I'm not offended by it. Um, I thought it was timed yet. No, so yeah, so that was a. I think I want to make more. I think I'm gonna do. I think the page has become a variety show. Essentially, like we talk science, we talk physics, we talk about learning new things that maybe you never even bothered to question. Uh, and I try to challenge what you think and then maybe throw some comedy videos in there every now and then. I have another video. Maybe I can share it with you guys. You tell me if this is funny. I think I might shoot it tomorrow. Essentially, you know how people say, I'm him, and NBA players do that too. Um, so the skit essentially is a guy who's named him, HIM, the pronoun, who's going in for an interview, and the interviewee is interviewing him, and he tells him, "All right, so I have a bunch of resumes. Which one's yours?" And then he says, "I'm him." Right? And then the interviewer is confused. It's like, "Wait, what do you mean, him? What are you talking?" And then the guy would be like, I'm him. I'm him." He's like, "I don't follow. What's going on here?" He's like, "Well, maybe it's a cultural thing or whatever." And I wrote a script for it and everything, and essentially I'd have to act it out playing both sides, but I think it'd be hilarious. And then the guy would be hella confused, like, "Wait, is that like a cultural? What's that?" And then he's like, you know, my parents decided to name me him, and you know, like, I'm him. I'm him. And he would do that in the interview, right? And then the guy would be like, "What the fuck? What's going on?" It's like, "It's a cultural thing." It's like, okay, like the pronoun, him. "Nice to meet you, him." And then he finds the resume and that's it. I thought that would be hilarious. So I'm gonna record that video and post it. Hello, not Devante. How's it going? Where do I find black white girls? Ooh, that's a good question, bro. All right, here's a hack. Here's a hack for you. I've noticed white girls who have where do I find black white girls? That's a confusing question. Are you asking where do you find black girls who act white, or are you asking white girls who are blackish? I'm confused. Which one are you asking? If you're asking where to find black girls who are like what you said about me, or like what Prince Ty said, favorite black white guy. If you mean my female equivalent, then you can, according to Jordy here, says Starbucks. Now, if you're asking where to find no such thing as acting white, be careful. All right. Yeah. Black girls who act white. Yeah, Starbucks. Um, let's see. Libraries are also really good for that too. Dating apps are also really good for that. That's what I've noticed. That's how I met, yeah, a lot of them. Black girls who act white. College campus is obviously easy. Um, I think yeah. Jaden, night bro, salutations. Hey Maya, how's it going? Nice to see you here again. Um, Bookstores, yeah, I think that's a good one too. Church, yeah, that's also a good one. Starbucks, yeah, again, another Starbucks. Non-denominational church, yeah, for sure. That's a good one too. And then I would say dating apps, you can find them. Um, Concerts probably are really good too. They don't act white. What does that mean? Do you act white? All right, I'm gonna put that up on the chat. No, I don't say I act white, but it's how people would describe me. It's how black people have ever described me. Like, that's why my Black People Who Sound White video worked really well, because that's how black people perceive me. It's not my fault. I wouldn't say I act white. I act me. And it turns out certain populations think of it as white and certain populations think of it as Some people say normal in the comment section. I think it's hilarious when they say, "No, you sound normal," and I was like, "Oh, bro, you have no idea the amount of smoke you're about to get." uh, Salutations. Things are going phenomenal. Thank you for asking. No problem. Stay away from the apps. I wouldn't say I'm speaking to fellas, Creed. Fellas, yeah. If that's how I found you, that video. Yeah, exactly. You know what's weird? I actually DM'd Afrotech to see if they can give me some tickets I can give away to you guys. I haven't gotten a response yet, but if I do, it'd be cool if I could give you guys some free tickets. Whoa, I love that topic. May I join? What do you mean? Join what? Like, I don't know if there's much to say about it. You have some opinions about it? Feel free to put it in the chat. I have a rule about like people got to come on the podcast before I add them to a live like this. And plus, I'm streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram right now, so it wouldn't be fair to them. They're not going to hear your side of the conversation. Sorry. Once I figure this out, yeah, it'd be cool to have you on. Or if you want to come on the podcast and like let's talk about it, that'd be cool. Just DM me. And we've had conversations related to like intergender dynamics and stuff. So it'd be cool to have that segment too. I think people would appreciate that kind of conversation. What's your opinion on the Jews? On the juice? I have no opinions. Jesus was a Jew. So I've been reading a lot of Bible stuff in his teachings. Yeah, I agree that you can't act a race. It's just easier to say that way. Yeah, it is easier to say that way. But, you know, some people are very particular about words. Words have meaning. I know someone who says that. She's special to me. You got a podcast? What's your YouTube channel? Yeah, like that's why it's called. Yeah, the account on Instagram isn't called Table Moments Podcast, but on TikTok, yeah, it's a podcast about anything and everything. It's just YouTube Table Moments Podcast. The whole phrase. If you don't include the podcast term, you're gonna get a bunch of WWE highlights. But the podcast started as just audio only, so that's how most of the conversations are. I think we're at 134 episodes. And the last two were video podcasts, which I included on YouTube. I think all of them are now going to be YouTube podcasts. LOL, you wouldn't want someone to hop on and say a bunch of slurs and get you banned. I guess, I don't think Maya would do that. She's been here before. Or he, I guess, I don't know. I can't tell your gender based on your username. Are you rich? I don't know. How do you define rich? I live off of money I've saved. So I think I'm richer than, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Rich, it depends how you define rich. Like, I don't have a 9 to 5. Like, I work on whatever I want to work on, and I live off of money I earn. Like, I feel very rich. Like, so, yeah, I don't know. If you mean like Rollies and Lambos, no, I don't have those. I don't care to have those, but maybe one day I will be able to afford those, but I wouldn't buy them. So I don't know, but I hope that's answer enough for you. Oh, heck yeah, big dog. Subscribe. Yeah, let me know what you think of the content. I think I'm going to start putting more pieces of content on the community tab. I'm going to experiment with that the way I've been doing like Instagram, but I appreciate the follow, bro. I think you might be $4.99. If someone, I think the next person who goes on the YouTube and subscribes would be the 500th follower. Let me double check here. YouTube Studio. Oh no, I already went past that. Never mind. I think you're 501. Thanks, Creed. Thanks, Creed. Have you retired early? How did you get to this financial situation? What money did you make before this? Yeah, you're 501. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I retired. Here's the thing. I actually told myself when I was younger that I was going to retire early by the time I was in my early 30s. I didn't know how I was going to do it, and it turns out the way I pulled it off is by just saving money, a stupid amount. I used to work as an engineer, and I never wanted for much, so I ended up just stacking all this cash, and that's what I live off of, and it's pretty cool. Not a lot. It's enough. I can pay my monthly bills, put a roof over my head, decent apartment. Like, I'm not worried about food or anything like that. I know eventually I'm gonna have to like figure out a sustainable way to replenish that, which I have been experimenting with. But yeah, it's definitely in a much better financial position than most people find themselves in. I didn't have any student loan debt or anything like that, so I don't have a car note. I bought my car cash. Like, dude, I think I am in a blessed position for sure. Um, Hello, brother. Are you Muslim? I am not Muslim. Sorry. Used to be. I wish I had $30 for my mom's meds. People don't understand. That's why I sell accounts. Yeah, I get that. I get that, bro. Like, we're all trying to like handle things. I get it. I get it. Um, I've been learning to like let God lead, you know? Like, not worry about tomorrow, and like God will provide. I was literally reading Matthews this morning, and there was a section in there where he was talking about like, look, has God, look at the way God treats plants and animals. Do animals worry about where they're going to get their next meal? Do plants worry about how they'll clothe themselves? Look at how beautiful a field of flowers are. And yet we will, you know, as people take them down and burn them, and yet this is the effort God has put into these creatures, into these organisms. And yet you here are worried about how you're going to eat tomorrow. Like, it's like, don't worry about tomorrow is essentially the message. God got you. So I was like, you know, interesting perspective. Which for me is like the revelation I had, the moment, the spiritual moment I had that like shifted me on all this was realizing I'm not in control. And then that kind of like switched me up on all this. Did you put it in a Roth IRA, S&P 500, Vanguard? No, it's just cash. It's liquid cash. I know it's not the smartest thing to do. Yeah, I have some retirement accounts I haven't touched yet, and those are growing. But I mean, like, I don't care about finances like that. I know I should get a financial advisor who would handle all this for me. But eventually, if this stuff works out, I'm able to generate significant revenue off of this. It'd be cool to get a financial advisor to handle all this, so I never have to worry about bill. I hate bills, guys. Not because I hate paying them. I hate remembering to pay them. That's the worst part. Anyone send me $30? I'll send you $30. Just DM me. Just make sure you DM me, because I'm not gonna be able to find your account. So just DM me. I'll DM you $30. So yeah, I hate bills. I hate like having to remember to pay bills. So what I end up doing is just, if they have an option to pay a year in advance, I do, or 6 years or 6 months in advance, I do. And it turns out you get some pretty big discounts when you do that. And one of my gifts, I think, is being able to find deep value in things. So like when I moved into this apartment, it was a new building. And so they had like deep incentives for getting people in, instead of publicly announcing that they're new, which is honestly a bad mark for a building, because clout also plays a role in the filling buildings, because no one wants to live, typically people don't want to live in buildings that are empty. I like it. I actually really enjoy the fact that I could live in an empty building. So for me, it could have easily been a selling point. But for most people, they don't want to live in an empty building. There must be something wrong if it's empty. And so instead of spending ad budget announcing that this building is new and empty, which would be a bad mark and make it harder to sell these units, what they ended up doing is using that ad spend to incentivize people to come in. So they gave me 6 weeks free plus $1,000 gift card to move in. So essentially I moved into a nicer building, paying less rent than I used to pay. And I don't know, I just find deals like this all the time, bro. I bought my car for $6,500, where if I had bought it from a used car dealership, I would have paid twice as much. I saw the opportunity, checked it out myself, bought it within like a couple days. It's like, if you can move fast and you got cash and you can spot opportunities, man, you'll get it. You'll get so many deals, bro. I'll DM you. Thank you so much. I'm crying right now. Thank you so much. God will bless you for everything you do for everyone. No, maybe it's God calling me to do it. So all glory to God. But yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna send it to you. Maybe PayPal. Maybe you could do PayPal if you have that. We'll figure something out. Are you Christian, big dog? I've been leaning in that direction. Yeah, I think at this point I can say yes. Like it's a recent conversion, dude. I haven't been baptized yet, so let me see. Let me keep up with these comments. Why did you used to be a Muslim? I was born Muslim, a Muslim family, and then just grew away from the faith, and then discovered Christianity. Slowly over the years, been exposing myself to larger and larger amounts of it, and then finally like had a spiritual moment, which is hard to describe. Those of you who've had one, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who haven't have no clue what I'm talking about, and that's just the way it goes. Sorry. I hope one day you can have that sort of like sign where you are literally born again. You die and you're born again, and I felt that, and I was blessed enough to have someone really special with me when that happened to help me navigate that, who was familiar with this whole experience. And so I'll always appreciate her for that. You want to talk about the car? It's a Hyundai Veloster. We can talk about car purchases. Let me catch up with these comments though. Honestly, if you haven't already, just look into a Roth IRA and S&P 500. S&P 500 has around 10% annual increase. I like being liquid though. That's the thing. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about money market account? I was thinking maybe that, but I don't know. I like the idea of it not being tied up. Nice, connect all the dots. The stories go further, like thousands of years before. Yeah. I got to hear your story sometime. That's amazing. Dude, man, like it came out of nowhere. That's the thing. Like after that moment, I started looking up like spiritual experiences people have. Some of us are blessed enough to have something like that, and I was one of them, and I'll always appreciate that. Like it didn't have to happen to me, and God made it happen. And it was just, I remember the lines, the words that struck me was like, I'm not in control. And once it finally hit for me, it's just like I broke down, bro. It was wild. It was wild. And then I felt different, and the world felt different. And then I also noticed, like, as I read the Bible and lean into the faith more, I become a more, how do I describe it? I feel closer to God, obviously, but I'm also a better person. I'm a better person because I treat people with grace better. Because especially doing this social media stuff, you get a lot of hate, and a lot of negativity. And through faith, I've learned to like judo flip that into some like positivity. Instead, before I was just like clapping back. That was like my instinct and I'm good at it too. But since that, and then I notice when I'm not reading the Bible and I'm not praying as often, I delve back into my old self. And so it's this constant dance of like going back into how I used to be, not liking it, and then finding the faith again. Like even literally it was this morning when I started reading the Bible again after like maybe almost going on a week. Went to church on Sunday, and yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's a different thing. And you would know if you've experienced it. I get death threats because of my faith. I understand what you mean with the content. Yeah. That's crazy. Are you leaning into the faith publicly? Is that where the hate is coming from? Wow, amazing. Yeah, dude, it is. Talk about the car, Apple Pay. I'm gonna see if I can make that work. Apple Pay. I don't know. I've never used Apple Pay to send money like that, but man, what is? It shouldn't be that hard to send $30. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this. This is kind of crazy. Let me think about it. I think I have Venmo too. Do you have Venmo? I don't know. I have Venmo and PayPal for sure. I don't know how to do Apple Pay, but I can figure it out. But I definitely want to get you this $30, bro. Think about it. Say you have $1 million and invest it into S&P 500. That's $100,000. You could live off that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the math makes sense to me. I don't know if the S&P has a steady 10% return. Plus, are you accounting for inflation? Because I don't know if I don't know. I don't want to be nitpicky with the math. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Whatever. The math works out. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely consider it. But I don't know. I like being liquid though. That's the thing. I like if there's a. I've had to just be able to make a big purchase or pay for something out of the blue, an unexpected large expense, and I'm able to do it because I have the cash liquid accessible, which I mean, stocks technically you can, but you're going with the ups and downs of the market. And if there's a downturn and you need money immediately, then you're kind of squeezed, you know? And so it's like I just eat the inflation for that kind of stuff, which sucks, I know. There's probably better ways to do it, but I have PayPal. PayPal? Cool. All right. Yeah. Yeah, DM me your email or your PayPal account, whatever. I'll send it over. I'll send it over. $30. I could do $30. Yeah. And I hope, yeah, I hope it pays for the meds that you're, yeah. So it is interesting. 1024. I don't know. What do you guys have in your mind though? I mean, I don't have much. I could just go off on some of the topics, but I think this is a pretty interesting thread. We could talk about faith. I don't feel comfortable speaking too much on it since I'm new to all this stuff. And I've also read, what was it, Corinthians, where he actually mentions that, was it Corinthians or Timothy? Yeah, it's in Timothy, where he actually says like recent converts aren't allowed to be preachers or pastors. I'm not saying this is a pastor kind of thing or like I'm teaching anything, but it's just there's so much I don't know. I don't feel too comfortable speaking too much on this. Oh yeah, cars. We could talk about cars. Tell us about car deals. I want cheap cars. Okay, we can bring that. Let me address. Yeah, let's talk about. All right, you want a deal on a car? I ended up getting this deal from Craigslist at the time. I knew what I wanted. I wanted a hatchback stick. I wanted a hatchback manual transmission car. And so being flexible in your vehicle options is a good thing because it gives you freedom to make decisions about availability when things that fit that criteria are available. So for my criteria was relatively recent that it has Bluetooth in it. So at the time, I think it's a 2013, 2012 Hyundai Veloster. And I was looking for manual transmission and hatchback. Hatchbacks are way too useful. And then I saw this on Craigslist and I was like, yo, let me hop on it. Because I was like, it's way below listed price. And so I contacted, being quick to the deal, $6,500, yeah. That's what I paid at the time. It would have gone for 12. But the guy was just trying to get rid of the car. He bought it as like a sort of midlife crisis type of thing. And he realized it really didn't fit his style. So he ended up upgrading to a truck and he just needed to get rid of it. So I was able to get the benefit off of that. I ended up looking up, so go to Chris Fix. Chris Fix, he's a YouTuber and he does car repairs. He has this checklist, used car checklist. So you can look it over yourself. Or you can, if you know someone who is good with cars, you can bring them and they can look it over for you. But still bring that checklist. And it's just like, you tell the owner, like, I have a checklist I got to get through to make sure if this is something I can buy. It'll take me about an hour and a half, if you don't mind. And usually they don't mind. They understand you're just doing so I literally just go through the checklist. And that's all you have to do. And then make sure like it meets certain things. If they're like oil's dirty, you can fix that. Brake wear, you can fix that. You know, there's certain things you can fix. And then there's certain things where it's like, all right, this thing had problems getting started and there's like weird colors of smoke coming out of the tailpipe. It's like you have to be willing to walk away. And so that's how I was able to do it. I ended up looking the car over and I was able to make the deal happen really quickly. I went in, I got the cashier check done the next day. I had the cash ready to go. So if you have to go through a lender, it makes it a lot harder to make that purchase because you have to get the money ready and then you have to go through approvals and that's slow. If you can move quickly, and get it done. It works in your favor. Another option is Copart. So you can buy a salvage vehicle and rebuild it if you have handy skills. But this isn't really useful if you either don't know somebody who could rebuild it for you or can't rebuild it for yourself. So what my fiance's dad actually does, he loves cars. So he goes on Copart and Copart.com. It's a salvage auction. In certain states, you can buy it directly. In other states, you need a broker, so you might have to go through somebody. If you find a car that you like, look for something that doesn't have too much damage. Front end damage is fine. Rear end damage is harder to fix. And then if the damage is not too bad, look for the frame, the rails on the frame, and see if those are intact, because usually it's just body work. If it's front end and if it wasn't too major, make sure airbags haven't been deployed. And if it's repairable, then you can make a bid, and then you can actually buy it, and then maybe you can find someone to repair it, and you can really get into a vehicle at a much lower price than you would if you were to buy it new. I ended up buying a motorcycle this way and rebuilding it, and that's how I spent in total, I bought the bike and then all the repair parts in total just under $4,000 for a bike that would have cost twice that. All right, let me catch up with these comments though. Yes, well, I've been testing and seeing what topics are working for the internet to share, podcasting and such. I'm testing a variety of topics. When I started sharing my thoughts on Christianity, it went nuts because I started sharing different fallacies or showing Christians the freedom they have in Christ. Ooh, okay. I understand you don't have to go deep. It sounds as though you are learning naturally and be led by the Spirit rather than man. That's amazing, but yeah. I won't press you about it, just fascinating. Yeah. Dude, I've been watching a lot of this false Christianity stuff, like the prosperity gospel and how it's all false. There's a guy on TikTok, the War Within. I've been really just binging a bunch of his videos, how he's like calling out Catholic. I don't know what the deal is with Catholics, right? But he's like calling them out. It's like, you guys are heresy and all this stuff and whatever. And it's just weird. Like you understand how, I don't know, there's a lot of false Christianity out here. And this is where I can understand where like other religions don't take it seriously. Because they see so many people not practicing it by the book. WTS Man says, I don't want you to restrict your access to your money. I just want to increase it instead of staying stagnant. Yeah, I don't know. The way I see it is like the cost of living for me is just, I consider it an investment in myself. Like the amount of skills I've been able to learn just even over the last year. Like I've learned, or even the last 2 years, I've learned how to build software. I learned that on my own through a lot of the free time that this thumbs up thing is really messing me. You guys are gonna see me freeze on Instagram real quick. Let me wait for that freezing to stop. But essentially, like over these last 2 years, I've been able to learn how to do software, build it myself. I've been able to do social media, learn how to build content, be comfortable in front of a camera, edit a podcast, be able to grow an audience, actually make money doing this. Not a significant amount, but the fact that I can even make money at all is a crazy thing. And be able to make it at least semi-consistently, not a lot, not anything you can support a family off of, but this is always how the beginning starts. And then actually getting to this point, and so much I've learned in the process, the connections I've been able to make with people, like, I don't know if I could put a monetary value on how much I've grown over the last 2 years just doing this. So I don't know what the future is going to look like. I'm not going to be worried about tomorrow. I have enough to last me for a good while too. And, I started getting into the e-commerce game, selling these minimalist wallets I make. And this is what it looks like when it's filled. This is my custom one I made for myself, but 14 bills, 6 cards in this tight package. It's on my website, link in bio if you're interested. $20 is the deal you guys get. Eventually I'm gonna be raising the price of that for the wider audience since I've been learning ads, Facebook ads, Pinterest ads, weirdly enough. I don't know if those are actually performing right now, but I'm experimenting with those. And then also Reddit ads too. So I've been learning the ad game since I've been in this content stuff. So yeah, eventually I'm gonna figure something out that's more consistent and steady, but e-commerce is cool because like I make these myself. I laser cut these patterns as a whole. These have a stash flap where you can actually put some backup cash in there, which I think is the coolest feature of this. And it is super thin, like literally as thin as possible. And ripstop material, that's what I do. So, and I made this for myself. And so I figured, you know what, why don't I give it to you guys? And I also include a $2 bill with it because I think it's cool that it's the only wallet, minimalist wallet. It's actually the only wallet on the market that comes pre-installed with money. So that's cool. And I use it, and the people who bought it and used it really love it. So, although one of the downsides is it's so thin, you'll forget it's in your pocket. You will forget it's in your pocket. It happens to me all the time. This is why I keep it in my front pocket, because in my back pocket, I don't even feel it at all. And that's what I've heard from other people too. So if you don't mind forgetting that your wallet's in your back pocket, then the wallet might be for you. If you do mind that, then it's not gonna work for you, but whatever. I think it's a cool selling feature too. So I made it the headline of the website. If you want one, buy one. Tamo.tv, it's on the bio for all the socials. Jordy says, yeah, I found a Lexus RC300 all-wheel drive for $25K. And that doesn't sound like a deal at all. It is a Lexus, but I feel like if I were to, I don't know, yeah, okay. Probably could negotiate to 23K. Was thinking I could test drive it. Maybe I'll test drive an Invista too. What's an Invista? Invista car. Oh, Buick. Interesting. Yeah. Wait, what's the RC300 Lexus? What is that? Ooh, okay. Is that a coupe? Yeah, that's a coupe. Yeah. I have some. Yeah. Okay. Let's catch up. No. Thank you for the follow. MK is back. Heck yes. Good job, bro. Businessman. Yeah, well, I want to give you guys cool things that I use myself, that I've made for myself, or at least I care to use myself, that I found is really cool, but then also give you a deal. I was thinking about this today. You know how like creators come out with their own like coffee brand or like cookie brand and all that? Like I think Pokimane did her little cookie things. There's like some financial guy on YouTube who does like coffee. He sells his own coffee. And then there's Mr. Beast who does his own chocolate bars. But realize the pricing points of all these. They're more expensive than their regular counterpart. Why? I've been getting into the e-commerce game, selling these wallets, right? To strangers even, because I've been running ads for this. And I was thinking like, when you get into e-commerce, there's this aspect called customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost to get a new customer? And it turns out you can actually calculate this. It can be a precise number at scale. And you need that number to be usually multiples less than what it costs to make the product or what it costs to sell the product. So if your customer acquisition cost for an e-commerce something is like $10, you have to be able to make more than $10 on your item for it to make sense. Otherwise you're losing money on every sale because it costs you $10 to get that customer. Now, the thing that creators have an advantage in this space is that it doesn't cost them much to get a new customer because they already have an audience. In fact, they should be charging less than their regular counterpart, whatever they're selling. So it pisses me off, man. I'm just like, they're using their name and their clout to take advantage of their own audience instead of giving them a deal. And I don't F with that at all. So instead, I made these. Now, $20 for some of you who aren't familiar with the minimalist wallet, you guys will be like, oh, okay, that's way too expensive. Or it might be reasonably priced. Turns out, this is actually inspired by a Kickstarter like 6 years ago, where they were selling these minimalist wallets. They still sell them, by the way. Guess how much they sell them for? Something similar form factor, this thin, incredibly light, and can fit in your back pocket. You'll forget it's there, really durable. You know how much they sell these for on Amazon? An equivalent one? $57. $57. I was like, nah, I'm not paying that. And so I made my own. And now you guys can have it too for 20 bucks. That's, and you get a $2 bill in there. So essentially you're buying it for 18 bucks. So yeah, that's, I am worried that it's priced too low though, because I've been watching a lot of Rory Sutherland videos and how positioning plays a big role in people's perception of goods. And if it's priced too low, like 1997, it gives infomercial vibes. But everyone who's used it, or at least the people who bought it, I actually got a chance to meet somebody in person who actually bought it, and we were just going back and forth about ideas on how to improve it. And his feedback literally led to a significant design change on these wallets. So that's why any of you who have already ordered one and you've received it and you've used it, let me know if you have any improvements. I can literally make them. I have the design files that I laser cut. I laser cut these, by the way. And then I fuse the edges using an impulse sealer. You guys can see. Let's see if it zooms in here. Yeah, that's a fused edge. I melt it together, bro. So that's what I do. Let's see. Sega Beat, Oil, Ohio Rizzler, Sigma Alpha Male, Kai, Sinat, Baby Gronk. Okay. Hey, you got a whole daycare in this chat? I don't know. I love you, Table Moments Pod. Love you too, Wick Lucy. Love you too. You texted me on Instagram? Cool. Appreciate it, I guess. For my mom meds. Oh, what's your PayPal? Yeah, I'll text. No, send me your email. Send me your email so I can just send it over as like a payment or something, or like a fund transfer or something. I don't know. Send me, just DM me your email. I'm gonna do it right after this live. So, yeah, 30 bucks. If you could wait a little, I'm assuming this is something that you need pretty soon. So I'm just gonna send it tonight. Cool. I'll check it out right after this live, and I'll send it over. But it would be cool to send you, this would be such a cool, if time wasn't a factor of all this, maybe I would even send you this like $2, this is $32 technically. This is like the perfect amount for you. Keep the extra $2 and you would have to cut it out, but I think it'd be pretty cool to give you this. That'd be cool. But yeah, whatever, maybe next time, or not next time. Hopefully you won't need it, the 30 bucks. Or maybe we can actually get you to like, it'd be cool to like employ, or at least make you guys partners of some of these venture ideas or whatever. See, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, but, anyone have experience, knowledge about the Lexus SC400 from the 2000s? Jordy, maybe? Jordy, anything? I just pulled money out of nowhere. No, I literally just posted a video like a couple days ago where I talked about the $2 bill, and it's real money. It's real money. And I made a point about how it's uncut currency, and I knew it was a good visual hook. So honestly, I thought I was gonna have to order these in order to include the $2 bills with the wallets, but it turns out my local bank actually has plenty in supply. So I literally just get it from them. And then I include a $2 bill with the wallets. So I think that's pretty cool. And thank you for everyone who's ordered one and indulging this crazy idea of selling a minimalist wallet. I think it's an experienced good though. Here's the thing, if you're not used to it, you might not realize how invisible it feels in your pocket until you actually start using it. And then you'll realize like, oh, this is so much better than a regular wallet. And I haven't gotten into making a bunch of the promo videos and like promotion. But yeah, I have so many ideas, like it can match your style. So this is red, it's bold. I'm currently using a blue one. I'm experimenting with this different type of fabric. It's a little thicker, but it's brown, a more conservative color. I also have black, which might be what most people choose black, and I get it, but I'm experimenting with different types of fabrics. And I have green, gray, and blue, black, red. Those are the 5 I'm offering right now. How does that work? Where do you get that? You can get that at the US Mint, man. I'll put it in the comment section here. You can get the uncut currency from usmint.gov. There you go. Let's see. That would be cool. That would be very cool, man, if I could give you that. Wait, how do you stream horizontally? I'm streaming through StreamYard, and StreamYard just added this feature, and so they're sending it. It's weird. You have to like sort of go live on StreamYard and then hit live on Instagram, and that's how that works. But no. Actually, I think you can go live on Instagram specifically. They give you a stream link and a stream key. So if you use OBS or something, you should be able to use that. And it should do horizontal if your feed is horizontal. I don't know if it works that well for Instagram though. I think it would be better if it were vertical. Yeah. Do you remember when you did that NBA TikTok? Yeah, I do. I remember that. I did not expect that video to do the views that it did. Honestly, it was a throwaway video for me. I was just trying to give an explanation of how the NBA could have possibly ruled it a 2 using optical angles and stuff like that. And the challenge for myself was, could I make a video without saying a word? So for me, it was a throwaway video. I didn't think much of it. It was so funny. Dude. And then right now it's sitting at 16 million views. I'm just like, yo, this is stupid. I don't think I ever want to make content like that again. I think it attracts the wrong people. No offense, Jacoby. But I don't watch sports like that. I just understand the NBA and their replay system and how intense and detailed they are. Unfortunately, not a lot here. DJ Play Nice. My dad did sell an SC convertible once, but I'm an RC type for sure. Yeah. Would have to get the experience Buick package, moonroof, the convenience, package, heated seats, and the advanced safety package. Lane change alert. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jordy. That's the era of SCs where my budget is. Okay. Who knows? Maybe you can find a salvage version of it and rebuild it. Just get replacement parts off of eBay. Let's see. Let me Google the car. SC 400. Lexus SC 400. It'd be cool if like maybe I have like a product. Ooh, that is definitely classic, bro. Wait, you said 2000s era. So, let's go with, yeah. Ooh, okay. I get it. Yeah, very good choice, bro. Very good choice. It was so funny. Yeah. Maybe I should do streams where I just answer questions and stuff. Good talking to you, big dog. Keep it up. I'm at work learning cybersecurity. Yeah, all right. Yeah, dude. It was nice having you here, bro. Hopefully I can catch you next time in the stream. Cool discussion. And yeah, good luck with the cybersecurity stuff for sure. At work this late? Wait, where are you? Probably not US based. Or maybe you are. Who knows? All right, you guys got anything else? I think I'm about to call it quits. I can feel it in my throat. Pause. Pause. But yeah, this is about as much talking as I can do. Approaching 3 hours and 18 minutes. I think it's pretty decent. You guys got anything else? And then MK is back. I'm gonna check my DMs. I'll send you the money. And then hopefully you can help your mom. And I'll put in a prayer for her too. Hopefully that all works. And yeah. Let me just check in. 2 people watching on Instagram, 4 people on TikTok. Joe, it was awesome talking to you. Richest Punisher alive. Yes, gonna see your DM. I'm a bodyguard working late shift. Ooh, okay, bodyguard, nice. Does it make sense to buy for 27K or lease for 20K with 40,000 mile limit? I don't know. If you have a pet, I don't know if that changes the equation. Because I don't know if you have to um, keep the car clean to your term. I don't know. I mean, I think cars should be purchases unless you have enough. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to think about it. I have to think about it. I don't know. I've never had a lease before, so I can't say. But if anyone can give the advice, please feel free to put it in the chat. But Joe, it was nice talking to you. Jacoby, nice seeing you here. Jordy, appreciate it. Creed, great to have you. Everyone on Instagram, a lot of people joining, a lot of people leaving. It's fine. I know it's not made for Instagram. A horizontal video I don't think works that well. So I got to figure out a way to make it vertical. But I appreciate you guys being a part of this first Instagram stream. We've been doing it on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok for the longest, for over a year. And it's nice to have you guys on Instagram too. We'll keep more of it going in the future. But any last comments, everyone? Oh my, you just joined. I'm about to leave. I'm about to leave. I'm thinking about switching the stream days to Monday. Maybe I have to do one stream on Sunday to tell all the people to show up on Monday if they can. This is MK. Yeah, I know. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it quits. Let me end on Instagram first. Thank you guys all for joining, and those of you who stayed, really appreciate it. I'm gonna end the live here right about now. But there's a mad delay on Instagram. Let's end the live. Whew. Okay. Discard that video. Don't need that. All right. All y'all be safe, have fun, carry your guns, and rock. That's a great way to close that out. Thank you for that, bro. Thank you for that. Same to you, man. Same to you. Have a good week, everyone. May God be on your side. And yeah, let the rest of the week be good. Removing. Okay, can I join you in your live? Want to show you my drawings? I'm about to leave. I said I sent you on Instagram and messages. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out right now. I'll send it over. Or if you sent your email, I'll be able to send you the money right now. But yeah, all right, guys, peace, and Rich Punisher alive. Look forward to my message. Bye. Have a good week, everyone. Bye. And have a good week, DJ Play Nice. Thank you for your activity here.